What's going on? Anybody there? Maybe nobody's showing up for Halloween. We got Ryan in the chat, though. For the record, Bill Real has balls. I agree. Flip's having computer issues, and Jared's running late, but they should both be here. So I guess I could BS in the meantime. Bill Real has balls. Maybe I should pull that up. Well, I don't know. Those guys might want to talk about that. Bill Real, man. We've got a love not love relationship with his stuff, because he for sure says the most base stuff in all of ex-Mormonism, and then here and there just drops other doozies that we're like, what? But I mean, I guess that's good. He can be all over the board. Hopefully Flip will pop in here in just a second. Starbase cool. Bill saved a baby. I know. I think we pulled that up in here once, watching Bill saving a baby on the news down in southern Utah. In the end of all things, Bill Real and RFM are the best ex-Mormonism has to offer, I believe. They get caught up in their things, and they get a little bit autistic on some stuff. Who doesn't? We all do, right? But although I think sometimes the definition of autism means seeing more forest through trees, and the level that we're always looking at stuff. If I draw back to Troy and Jonathan's podcast on the evolutionary reasons for religion, I think that's really going like full 50,000 foot view of like what religion is there and it is doing. RFM gets really bigoted, in my opinion. Yeah, they get over the top. Well, I'm saying the best in ex-Mormon influencers isn't the highest of bars, and I'm only counting also the people who are up there. Lord Scrumptious, I like that name. Is that Sinatra? Yeah, they both have a different way of saying stuff. Maybe I could pull it up right here, because I wasn't going to talk about it yet, but a lady from the Salt Lake Tribune has noticed us, and she asked us to interview and talk with her about our ex-Mormon view. The Salt Lake Tribune, no, the Deseret News, and she's going to release the article pretty soon. And the article, I mean, I talked to her about a whole lot of stuff. Her name's Betsy, and the article covers a whole lot of things. She definitely picked the certain things that fit her narrative, but I was fine with it. She let me read it before it gets released. I don't know when it's getting released, but if you read it, it's me giving the 50,000 foot view of why Mormon and LDS community is good, which might have been what I wanted to start with here tonight, because the Midnight Mormons, I still call them that. Do you think they get upset if they hear that? His article titled "Not All Ex-Mos Are Woke Marxists." Basically, they're like there's dozens of other ones, but that's basically what it is. It mentions Jonathan. I showed her Jonathan Troy's podcast. She talked to me, and I interviewed her. I tried to get her in contact with a lot of these different guys. I don't know if you guys ever talked with her or not. Did you?
I never got around to it.
But she was just asking for people to write out just different kind of stuff, so it took a bit to jot out, and I talked to her about a lot of different stuff. But it is that 50,000 foot view of basically what we've been saying since Charlie Kirk died, of just like touch grass, take a step back, look at family. If somebody's giving you that messaging, they're probably doing better than people who aren't saying that stuff. But other than that, if you read through my stuff, it just basically talks about that stuff, the stuff we've been talking about here. But I don't know when it's going up. She said it's sent off to editor, and we'll see when it pops up. But that could go right into the Midnight Mormons just saying tonight that they haven't even seen the article yet, and they think, well, actually, in that thing I said right, it ends off with me saying Dallin H. Oaks' talk was probably one of the better talks by a prophet in a while, because all it said is have kids and touch grass, and that's all they should be. Anybody who's saying that is winning, in this current world, and that's about it. It's not much tougher than that. But the Midnight Mormons, the wards, the Ward Mormons did a whole episode on, wow, Dallin H. Oaks really rocked people's world by saying go have kids and touch grass. It is one of those kind of Jordan Peterson things of like, it's simple stuff, but why is nobody daring to say it out there at some sort of like top level of anything? And it does seem like brave to dare to say it anywhere. But But then they had one tonight that said ex-Mormons are going back, man. Ex-Mormons are going back. Do you believe that? Flip.
Sorry, I'm spaced out. What,
Do you bel-
ex-Mormons going back?
Yeah, the Ward Radio. I'm gonna maybe pull up the video.
Oh no. I mean, like, there's always a handful of, like, that's things like people join Scientology, and like, because that's the thing.
Mormonism a dime.
Go ahead.
Because in my 20 plus years of monitoring all kinds of religious conversations and apologists and all this stuff, like, because there's always like, a Jew became Catholic. We're interviewing him today. It's like, yeah, okay, so it's not impossible, but like, no, it's so vanishingly rare, And like, I'm trying to think, like, do I know anybody who was all the way out? Do I personally know? Like, I've heard some stories, but I don't know if I personally know anybody that was all the way out and went all the way in, all the way back, I should say. I don't think I know.
We know what's his name, the historian now. The guy who says that. The dude who wrote the book on the lost 116 pages. What's his name? I forgot. His son died a while ago. So we stopped giving crap. You know who it is. We pulled him up on here before. He used to go on the Midnight Mormons and said, well, I'm reading First Nephi upside down, right? Bradley, that's right.
There we go.
Don Bradley. He's kind of popping back up since his son died. I think he's been kind of laying low since then.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, cause one thing, like, I mean, one of the weirdest stories I ever knew is that I had a cousin. I mean, technically not even my blood related cousin, but through weirdness of family, we call him my cousin. He was my dad's brother's brother-in-law's kids that my aunt and uncle raised. So they were my cousins, but they weren't my cousins anyway. Because I remember he was the first person I ever knew. Like, he's like 10, 12 years older than I am. And like, so, we were like 13, 14 and he was in college and he would come home and we'd hang out with him and go driving around. And he was the first person I ever knew who said the words, I am an atheist. And I remember, like, he used to just rail on church. And I mean, he wasn't like totally asshole about it, but like, he was like secular guy. And like, he ended up joining the church like right before I went on my mission. He got baptized, and as far as I know, like, he's been rock solid ever since. And I remember he even bared his testimony and everything. Like, I always remember that he was talking about he was saying that, people say, they feel the spirit, but for me it got to where it was kicking me in the kidneys. And I remember thinking, like, because like right before my mission, I was like, wow, that's the story. And like, that for me is like one of the craziest conversions I've ever seen, because like, he really was like non-Mormon atheist and then joined up. And like, the thing is, it's weird because like part of it makes sense because he was dating, like, a lot of things about that was weird because he was a non-member dating a Mormon and his wife was like super hardcore Mormon, and they dated for like, I think 7 or 8 years. And like, and because like for all that time, he's like, come on, let's go. And she's like, nope, you have to be Mormon. And like, and she held out for all that time. And, that's things like, and I don't think that it was just conversion just to get married for him. Cause like I said, like, he's still in it. His kids are all in it, but like that's like the one thing I can think about where it's like, yeah, that's a weird one. But so other than that, like, I don't know who's other than like
the thing that's more interesting about this episode right here, because these guys, I mean, you could probably predict their guesses because they think it's going to happen. And why do you think it's going to? Do you think they think?
I'm trying to think of what Carden. What's stupid enough thing that Carden would say?
It's not cool no more, man.
Oh,
but and that is kind of, but and there might be some truth to that. Like cringe plays a factor in everybody's decision. The disgust, as Jonathan Haidt would say it, and I would sense that. I mean, it kind of goes back to that Roger Scruton thing of saying, like, you look at the other thing and go, well, I'm not that, ugh, and you go back the other way. But I don't think it's like a bad decision. But then I disagree with them highly on some of the stuff, as they say, we will go back if we cut out all the cultural crap and just get straight to Christ. And this is the exact kind of discussion I had with them, that I disagreed with them when I was there with them live. What is it now? 3 years ago? How long ago is that now? 4 years ago? Yeah. So I was talking to them, just like Starbase Club said, is not all ex-Mos are Marxist. I was talking to them about the pillars of Gramsciism, like that what Gramsci knew to attack to destroy up a society. And one of it's religion, the media, the schooling, and then you know the other stuff is just it's all cultural stuff. That's why it's called cultural Marxism. Gramsci was the one who gave you the pillars to attack of the culture, because they had realized that economically just whipping up the base because of economics didn't work, because of the dialectic of the dialectic is like, we can't figure this out. The dialectic of enlightenment is these people get sort of happy, so they don't realize that they're fully oppressed, because they're happy with their sea-doos a little bit. They're happy with their communities. They're happy with their stuff. So we got to attack those things, not just the factories, not just the take over the means of production. We got to attack the pillars of culture. So that was the starting place of that cultural Marxism. And you ask me what I say to them, and I know they've said it too, but they never bring it up in these cases, is what needs to come back is road shows. What needs to come back is baseball. What needs to come back is all that stuff. And even kind of stuff they could like put as spiritual, like book clubs or things like that. There's got to be
so many stake centers have those like fully equipped theaters. Like they've got stages and they've got risers and they've got curtains and all that stuff. When was the last time any church put on a freaking play? Like, I was in a stake production of Annie when I was like 10 years old.
Yeah, I was in some sort of, I don't even remember what they were, because they were kind of like 5-minute one-offs, so then everybody in the ward would join in, and that sort of stuff like was huge. And then every week I still walk my dog past the church of my youth, and there is a giant, awesome baseball diamond there. Church just right around the corner here, where I always walk my dog past, also giant, awesome baseball diamond. Grass still fully done, diamond still fully there. Like, why do they even like do the diamond? Nothing happens on them. Nothing. There is zero. There's never anything out there. And been 10 years since I've seen somebody use one of those immaculate baseball diamonds.
Yeah.
So obviously the church at some point or another knew it was true. These guys themselves had Jacob's idea of like, well, if the church wasn't going to do it, we should get after the kids and the scouts and all that sorts of stuff. And it's got to be like an entire cultural thing, and the cultural stuff has to be interesting and stuff. And then also, I do think that they'd have to sprinkle in the bleeding side. It couldn't just be, hey, 1, 2, 3, we're going to just do culture. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that they should reboost that part back up if they really want to grab people back in.
Yeah.
That's my belief. And these guys, of course, in this one say it. But the more interesting of this podcast is they go off on a jag that Kwaku thinks the story of the founding fathers appearing to, was it Wilford Woodruff, is a lie. And so they get completely distracted by that. Well, wow, how do you think it's not? How do you think it's a lie? Here we go.
Personally,
what does this have to do with ex-Mormons coming back?
well, no, like the people who are like, yeah, I just don't believe. I understand how they feel.
He thinks Wilford Woodruff had one too many visions. That's
right. No. I'm just, and he probably did, but that one in particular.
And I see where you're coming from, Kwaku, because ultimately, that vision, whether or not we believe in it, that has no impact on our salvation. I don't think, right?
You have to believe in Thomas Jefferson to get the Social Kingdom.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's far more important that we recognize revelation and the validity of prophecy.
If you remember when we had Kwaku on, half of it was just him arguing. It all devolved into arguing if the founding fathers were going into hell.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Guiding us in the world that we're in today, right? And so, like, whether or not we buy everything that's recorded in journals from way back when, I don't think that's as important.
I also want to be clear, like, if President Nelson tomorrow came out and said, in the temple, I was appeared to by the spirits of Christopher Columbus, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Hancock, Alexander Hamilton, I would say, nope, I don't buy it. Sorry, there's no... If Oakes was like, yeah, last night in my shower, Pocahontas came to me, I'm like, no, he didn't. No, she didn't.
Why is that his line?
I don't know how you'd like...
How is that the line? Like, I guess it's just...
I think he's just joking there.
But I wonder. I don't know. What's so hard to tell with him?
Well, he didn't. That was his line because he had decided a while back he didn't like the founding fathers. Now, right there,
Yeah.
I think he's just adding into the joke. But like when he heard founding fathers, these guys want to align themselves with founding fathers. Those were evil, horrible, evil men. And it was basically like saying I had Hitler appear to me in a dream, according to Quaker, with how he views them. You know.
Yeah.
Joseph
What does
Smith then.
Garden say about? Oh, these are more. Of
Well,
those.
they just kind of start pushing back and going, well, you do. I get it, but you do have to believe it.
Because,
Oh.
because I'll answer. My litmus test, okay, for miraculous visions.
No, he's
There's
gonna
got to
answer.
be an underlining miracle, and there's got to be a bit of a I'm not sure, right? Joseph Smith is trying to figure out the first vision until he died, right? He only saw Jesus a couple of times, right? And each of the visions came with like a meaning, like a deeper meaning. That's almost more miraculous in the vision itself, right? This one with Woodruff is just out of hooting and hollering out of the blue, just out of nowhere.
To take baptisms for the dead seriously and understand that this was the unique place where in history where both the freedom of religion, the space to grow, the resources, the time, the energy, and the people to restore the gospel all had
Gotta
a
believe.
confluence that was unique in history. And
No, it wasn't.
oh,
There was no freedom of religion. What do you mean?
this
Right.
is the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights.
The same freedom of religioners that murdered Joseph Smith and said you can't practice your religion. Yeah.
And so quick.
What
I
the
think
hell?
part of
Well,
it
there's
actually.
mobs that break
can't
the
be
law.
that
But okay,
stupid.
anyway, keep going.
Can't be that stupid.
What do you mean, stupid?
I don't know. Scott Brown just posted something in Lobsters that's even stupider, but
Oh, you're getting stupid from all sides.
I'm getting well, dude. That's the thing is like the thing that's been on my mind of the king of stupids is freaking Salt Lake City mayor posted something about I detained someone at Salt Lake Airport and I'm investigating, but I share the fear of this. And just like, oh, you fucking piece of shit. I'm so sick of my fucking mayor.
We already
Like,
talked
it's
about
just
it somewhere else, so don't blurt it out. But let's see if, like, the chat who wasn't listening there can guess how many people have been in the Salt Lake area, which the Salt Lake area turns out to include all of Nevada and Montana. If you didn't know,
And
like,
all of Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, Montana.
How many deportations? What's the deportation number? Chat, tell us
How
what
many
the
per month?
deportation.
Without
Not
looking
per
at
month.
no cheating.
Like what it is, what it's been since Trump, or per month in the last 6 months. Yeah, so a lot to worry about there.
Well,
These
like,
guys
it just makes sense that, like, I mean, part of it is like, oh yeah, like you don't want the police to enforce things like people doing drugs on the street or petty burglary. Like you won't enforce any of that stuff. Of course, you're upset if ICE picks up somebody at the airport.
These guys also said somewhere in there that they got past the era of Russell M. Nelson, and that was just they kind of admit that was an era of bureaucracy and not revelation. I'm trying to find where exactly they said it. How do you spell Nelson? Will this thing even
Nelson?
I always forget to spell his name wrong.
He's an NELSON, right?
2 years, all that stuff. Mormon culture was like pumping, right?
Okay, it was good. It was good.
Nelson took over, and we haven't been as fun for a couple of years.
Been more subdued.
We're a little bit. We're kind of corporate. People have left. The minute Uchtdorf gets in there, or Holland if he makes it,
Plane rides for everybody.
the excitement's going to come back.
Rides for
And then what's going to happen is if there's
I don't
more
think so.
excitement, because it's hard to be like, yeah, Mormonism sucks with the dare.
Oaks was supposed to be the exciting one, and I think he could have been exciting, but he's so frail now. Like I compliment that talk that he gave, but I think if he was in there 15 years ago, he would be boom, 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 boom. But he's just like, oh, he's falling apart. But anyway,
How old is Uchtdorf right now?
80 something, but it's like with all of them now, the people living older and older, nobody ever gets in there till 95, and they're not ever going to get in there till 95.
He's 85.
He's 85, and he's not even next. Like next, it's like Eyring and Holland. Holland and Eyring are between them. but I don't. Nobody thinks they'll outlive Oaks, although Oaks is so frail right now. Yeah, it would have been like Oaks would have been that bombastic go get him dude if it happened 10 years ago, and maybe he still has like a little bit of a fizz left in him, but probably not much. Anyway,
Youngest apostle is 64.
see, here it is, prioritizing Christ over church culture, and you
Dude,
guys are
all these
exactly
people-
wrong about this.
And it was really cool to be Mormon. So
And so, like, whatever I say to the Deseret News is saying the opposite. Like, if you guys want the excitement to come back to it, well, I mean, they were basically kind of saying it there. Is there's going to be some, like, it's not like Uchtdorf and Holland are going to be super, we're just Christ only. That was Russell M. Nelson. Russell M. Nelson was take the Mormon away and put the Christ in there.
Yes.
You guys are saying the opposite in the same video in certain ways.
I just saw the name of the stream.
The name of the what?
What you named the stream. You will know them by the works of their fruits.
I don't know if anybody up Wood is going to pick up on that one, but
I don't know how you come up with them. You've always like every week you come up with a good name.
Not every time. Like sometimes it's just like whatever the crap dumps out. Like in this moment, but this one I did. Yeah, it was floating around a couple days ago. Because I actually had watched this. I watched the story of James Wales, who was the creator of all the old Hollywood Universal monsters, and he was openly gay in like the 40s and 50s. And I didn't know that. I'm like, so by the works of your fruits, you shall know them. But but there's a bunch of other stuff where that was popping up too, because it just seemed like it turned out everybody was a fruit, and Fuentes popped up, who I think is also a fruit, and all sorts of.
Yeah, no, because I was just thinking about, because right now my Facebook feed is all communists and trans.
Yeah.
They was talking about like the hatred that gay people have experienced and always experienced, and they couldn't even live. And I'm like, people were fine with Truman Capote.
This
Like,
guy,
nobody cared.
I think here's the I didn't have it. Maybe I'll pull it up. It's Matt Baume. I watched a couple of his videos because he's kind of one of those guys is like, let's just document the gays through history, and some of it's a little bit overblown, as people talking about gays in history do. Like, look, it sounds like this guy in 1852 and totally possibly that person would have been gay nowadays or something like that, but it's totally stretching, you know what I mean? But his name's and then that other channel we always talk about, where Is It Gay, where they're always just kind of trying to, oh my goodness.
This also reminds me, because like my name today is because we've been talking about the Chris Hansen Predator Hour.
Oh yeah,
and so I've been watching a bunch of those again.
I watched too many. I watched them beyond my wheel because it turned to be Fox News used to like be the next thing. That thing sucks up.
Don't just go, but like
don't start watching Chris Hansen, or everything you will get turned to after that will be Chris Hansen after every video. So
like after 20 years of watching Chris Hansen, I realized something today, or I had the thought today, and I just wonder: is like, is the Chris Hansen production team filtering them out for some reason, or have you noticed, am I crazy, but of all the guys that they catch trying to hook up with teenage boys, none of them are flamers. They're all like, I mean, some of them have like slight gayness, but not like overt gayness. You know what I mean? And like, I just wonder, is it a thing about being like a closeted stealth gay that you engage in that kind of behavior, or are they like filtering out the princey, the flamer types? Like, because it just seems a little bit weird. Out of all the people, nobody comes to like, oh my God, it's Chris Hansen. I didn't mean to do it. I was not going to do anything with that boy. They're all like, oh geez, man. Like I was just thinking today, like there was one guy they caught that was like, he seemed like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, like he just seemed like a trailer park dude. And he's like an ultra creeper. And it's just like there's no flamers. What is up with that?
Well, there's some. Well, if you keep
Are
watching
there?
enough, yeah, and they're getting underage men and stuff. I've seen probably 3 out of the 25.
Like
that-
really flamey gay? Like
oh,
obviously
you mean
gay?
you mean the ones that even come in, they don't seem gay? No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, no,
Not
like
one
they
of them.
don't.
Every
the
one
ones
of
that
them's like an engineer. Like I've been working 20 years as an engineer. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah.
or baseball umpire or whatever, and like, but
no, you're absolutely right. No, there's not one of them that comes in like that gives off. I'm for sure that dude. My computer conked here. I don't know why this computer keeps doing this.
it's because you spend a lot of money on it.
I know, what the hell. And then my crappy other like little laptop is why I started oh, Jared's there. So Jared, you popped in right when my other computer died, and I thought it was my other thing popping off.
No.
So
I'm gonna have to
Oh,
find
good.
the episode because you guys were just talking about Chris Hansen. There was one episode, and it's the only one I've seen with the biggest flaming gay dude.
Did you see one with the flamer? Because I feel like I've seen most of what he's put out over the years, but
On this new show, I saw one, but I've only seen one. He's a really fat dude, just so obviously gay. Like if you looked at him,
like, hey, you caught me.
oh,
God.
I'm
What a
gonna
wild
scamper
surprise.
away.
What a wild surprise.
Ooh, don't handcuff me, ooh, officer.
Chris Hansen, no way. I watch
also
you
I've been,
on
I've really
Perez
been enjoying
Hilton.
Chris Hansen is like, I mean, his Spanish is hilarious and awful, like, but I give him credit for trying.
Mhm.
But that's why I say my name, because like I just want to say Yo soy Chris Hansen.
Starbase Close says, I guess it isn't hard to find, yeah, but like find the underage guys, which I know personally people in my life that lived through that sort of stuff.
Yeah. That's the most terrifying thing about that whole thing is like, because like between Chris Hansen and just reading KSL, like they're catching these people at the exact same rate they catch people speeding on I-15,
Oh yeah, it's insane.
or at the rate they're catching people littering. You know, like they literally just have to dangle out the hook with some bait on it and bang, 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 bang. Like I don't think I've ever had to wait. Like I don't think he's ever had a day that was a bust. Like, oh well, nobody showed up today.
Do you want to know what? I tend to believe a lot of them that are getting after 15, 16-year-old girls that it's their first time. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, how much is that successful? Like that really happens. Like, they have to be idiots.
It has to be going on a lot. I mean,
You
again,
think there's 15 and 16-year-old girls selling themselves online?
I mean, just from reading KSL, yeah.
Really?
Like, I don't think it's. I think there's because I mean, gotta remember, like kids are totally capable of being fucked up, especially if they're fucked up kids. Like the other thing is like foster moms or even just moms. But like the whole thing about like women pimping their daughters, that's like
Yeah,
just
that's
reading
real.
KSL, like just read KSL, they pop up every once in a while, they get stung on them, and like I mean, yeah, I totally believe kids are fucked up enough to do that.
Man, but I don't
that was
know.
a lot of the stings in his new show are that exact scenario where it's like a stepmom
Yeah.
or an aunt that's
No, I
they go for it.
I just watched
Those are usually with
the
immigrants.
soft white underbelly, you know, that YouTuber.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
some.
Weirdness. I watched one just yesterday. I think that was actually really interesting. Was a guy who he was a porn agent. He was a talent agent for pornographer or for porn actresses, and you know, like he talked about how basically, like, you know, okay, obviously not 100%. You know, I'm sure there's exceptions out there, but he said like all of these girls have daddy issues. All of them went through some kind of abuse. All of them have drug problems. You know, like all of them have mental health issues, and all of them never find happiness. You know, I was like, and then like the other thing he said that was so amazing is because he talks about how, like, you know, because the other thing is like, you know, he said he worked for a big talent agency. He's like, we didn't do any scouting. Like we had a website, and girls would they would sign up, they would apply basically, you know. And he said that he would talk to these girls and he'd tell them like, you know, more than likely you're not going to make a lot of money at this. Like
It's their
it's like if you could make as much or more money bartending rather than this? Would it be worth it to you to do this? And he just said, yeah, they're all into it. Like none of them back out and be like, because that's what he said. Like most of them might make most of them that like reach a minimal level of success might make $70,000 a year doing it. Which is like, which again, like if you're a hot chick bartending in LA, you'll do better than that.
Service quote says Tim Ballard would claim that Utah is the hub for child sex trafficking. But here's the thing: so I for sure think young girls get trafficked, but I think in those scenarios they're getting more than some slimy dude for $100 on, like they're getting swooped up by something bigger and worse. Is my guess.
I want to know, like, it's got to take a set of balls to call yourself a talent agent, like a talent scout for porn. I'm like, what's the? I would like. I'm not a credentialist, but I would like to see the credentials for that. Like what are you really good at? Well, I'm actually really good at. I can just walk down the street and I can be like, men would fuck her. Yep, definitely.
Well, I think.
Well, do you think that one would look good on camera? Well, I don't know if you noticed, but she has massive tits and a shapely ass. So I
think if you're actually scouting for him, then the things you look for are
septum piercings.
Septum piercings and borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
Are they snorting drugs off of a stranger's dick? Like that's the kind of stuff that you look for.
I know those two because I remember I was talking to some gal years ago. Like, I don't know how they get some of those girls to do it. Like you'll even see like pretty ones like, oh, they make them over. And then somebody put out some news report at some point where like, here's before and after pictures, and they're the girls like before they're made up and after they're made up. So it's basically just like as much as Boris Karloff has makeup on here. Like these girls are going in with the septum rings and all that stuff in the world, but like they walk in that place like, all right, let's pretty you up and make you look like you're going to Sunday school, and that sort of stuff for the. We
don't have the budget to remove those tattoos, so
yeah,
you're gonna be a nice church girl who has a skull on her fucking neck.
Like one thing he said, like I mean, because I guess it's obvious, but I was like, oh, I guess so. But he said they were a talent agent under the exact same rules as any other talent agent in LA. It's just that they were in the adult industry. But just it's like, like we operated under the exact same rules and regulations and laws as Hollywood agents. Just we did porn. That was the difference. It's like, I guess so.
Risa says broke young people are trying to feel important.
I think you want to know how you can tell that everything that guy said about these women is right, about how broken they are. You can tell if you've ever watched porn, the sounds that women make pretending that they're enjoying it makes me think that they've never enjoyed sex in their life. Like you've never had somebody do some. Like I don't know how many women when they're going to town and really liking it, are just like
the cutting scars. There's a whole generation where you're like, it's just cutting scars. And you're like, Jesus. I'm like, yeah.
But I would just guess that. So if there's any 15-year-old girl who's like $100 online, that there's something bigger to swoop that up in 10 seconds. Like Johnny come lately, little snot nose engineer dude who's just like, whoa, look what I stumbled across here. Like, I don't think, like, I think those girls are getting swooped up by somebody who's like some sort of pimp who's monitoring that stuff harder than Chris Hansen's monitoring it, saying, no, you're coming with me and we're offering 2,500. You're coming with me, we're offering 5,000. Like,
I don't know. Like might be the people, because, even if you're a 15-year-old in a trailer park in Magna, that you might still have enough connections that you can't like be swooped off to New York or whatever, or Dubai. I don't know. I just know, like, just reading the newspaper and watching Chris Hansen, that like the problem has to be so gigantic.
¿Por qué vienes aquí?
Con una chica de 15
años.
That's something about his show right now, though. Is like, I thought it was better when they, back in the days on NBC or whatever, with ABC, and you said you wanted to bleep her in the bleep, and that was better to me. Because like on this other one, when it's like saying the actual stuff, I'm like, I can't.
Well, it's gross. It's gross when you realize that he thought he was talking to a kid. But if you detach it from that, it's hilarious to hear
No,
him say that shit. I have a
Oh,
clip.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'll pull up.
I
No.
like
I
that
play
thing. Like,
this.
I
I'll pull
laughed
that one
so
up.
hard at that show just because the unintentional comedy, like, especially because he does everything in that newscaster voice. But
Daddy
say-
wants you on his cock.
you
Yeah.
You will
say,
come 6 times.
I like just the specific quotes. Like, you say you're 7.5 inches with girth and a little bit of a bend. What did you mean by that?
What did you mean
Like,
by
how
that?
does he say that without laughing? How does he get it out? Like, he's a pro.
Well, he's sitting there with an actual.
Yeah, no, it'd probably be easier.
That
if-
would help.
if
I
you were
guess,
like,
but, like,
I feel
you
like I'd still
say
laugh at
you
the guy.
want that ass. What did you mean by that?
Baby, shake your ass for me and finger my bum. You
I'm
know?
going to fuck you long and good.
Well, I guess this could all get clipped now as much as he ever could. Let me check. Dang it, where is it? You linked it back there. Oh, I'm already all the way back at the Hicklib. I forgot we've shown the Hicklib
it's
memes
been-
on here before.
It's been a while. You don't have to play it if you don't want to. It's just
No, I'm just trying to find it.
I just did a screen grab of that clip that I really like, and I
I-
whenever it gets quiet in the break room and nobody's saying anything,
You play it all the time,
I just play it out loud. And people are just like, "Oh, fuck off!"
and you don't have it at the ready there. I'm trying to let's see link.
Starbase Collab says I've never been to a strip club. Like, I went to a strip club once, and it was exactly what I expected. And because I never had any interest in going, because it was exactly what I expected, except that for me it was the funniest thing ever because Chris was there saying the most hilarious shit in the world. 'Cause we were there for a mutual friend's bachelor party, and I just remember like this girl like shaking her ass at us, and Chris just went, "This happens to be all the time. This happens to be all the time." But then the best part was that somehow we started bringing up the church,
Yeah,
and the lady's
she was
like,
wearing
"Oh, yeah.
she was wearing BYU shoes.
Oh yeah," and she's like, "Oh, I used to be a Mormon," and Chris is like, "I don't believe you," and it's like, because in Utah there's like the rule that you cannot touch them, you cannot touch them, you cannot touch them. But Chris is like, "Prove it," and she showed him the tokens from the temple.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to hell.
The real Mormon. I went to a strip club once. We have one friend who's just a fucking degenerate, and he loves strip clubs, and none of us wanted to go. And he had his bachelor party, and he's talking us into going. And I was just gonna use Morgan as an excuse. I was like, "Yeah, he wants to go to the strip clubs and stuff, so I'm not gonna go." And she's like, "Well, like, I don't want you to hang out with strippers, but like, if you just like go off to the side or something, it'd be fine with me." And I'm like, "Well, okay." The first one was fine because there was like another bar on the side of the strip club. It was the same bar, but at like a different, place to drink. It's out on a patio, and there's just a dude singing parody songs on a guitar. So I hung out there. It's funny though, because my friend, he's so obsessed with this strip clubs that he gave every single one of us $100 in ones. And he said, the rule is you either have to tip the dancers or tip the bartenders. And I was like, I'm not tipping the strippers. I'm not going to go up to the thing. I'm definitely not getting any lap dances, anything like that. And he's like, well, you better not show them the money. You better put it away. And I was like, no, I'll just tell them no. He's like, but then they'll keep asking. I'm like, yeah, I'll just keep telling them no. But then they'll grind you down until you're like, I don't think you understand the satisfaction I'm going to get from an attractive, mostly naked woman walking up to me and just repeatedly getting rejected. And that's what happened the whole night.
No, that's it. Because like the only other, because there was a time when I was a courier, and sometimes what I'd do is I'd deliver payroll, and I delivered payroll a couple of times to a strip club. And like a strip club on a Wednesday afternoon is the saddest fucking place on earth.
Oh, I bet.
Because it's just like there's a handful of old guys, and you can tell that like they spend all their money there, and that's their life. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always made the joke, but like for me, the analogy is like it's like going to the ice cream factory where they just wave the ice cream in front of your face, and then it goes behind the curtain, and you throw money at the ice cream, but you're not allowed to touch it or lick it or taste it or anything. It's
Yeah,
just look
it
at the
doesn't
ice
make
cream.
sense.
Like
Like,
it's just yeah.
It's not. It's partially a high and mighty place I come from, saying that, like, I don't like strip clubs, blah 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 blah. But it's also mostly it's I don't get it. It's like going to Hooters. I don't understand it at all because I'm like, you can't even touch. I mean, I know some you can. Like, why would you? Why would you want to?
It's easy to not like strip clubs in Utah because they're all in bikinis anyway. You're just like, I can go to Raging Waters, man.
Yeah. The other thing though, like, because like I just can't get past the thing where it's like what? I'm just sad for you. Like,
yeah. Well, no, but then they do that. They do that. They come and push the sad on you. Like they have them come and sit next to you and say, part of the thing in Utah is you have to buy us 2 drinks. And then the girls sit there and then they start telling you like the sob story. I got 5 kids at home and that's why I'm doing this and not doing that. And like they literally have as part of their way to pull money out of you to start telling you sob stories.
You should offer one a job.
Yeah, I haven't been like I've been.
That'd just be funny if I were ever very wealthy. That's what I would do. Like a business owner, go to a strip club and they start giving me a sob story. Just be like, I actually have the perfect job that on the job training. It'll double your pay from this and it'll give you full benefits. Just see how many of them take me up on it. Like when Patrick Bet-David offered that commie dude a job.
I have finally found it.
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite clip. It's very short.
How's it gonna play? Is it gonna play right? Is the volume on?
Are we gonna get struck for this?
Maybe.
You say you want to stick your tongue in her sweet butt.
What did you mean by that? I was the one that listening to one today where the guy's like, "Look, guys, I can't go to jail tonight." And they're like, "Okay, yeah, it doesn't work that way." He's like, "No, but you guys don't get it. I can't go to jail tonight." It's like, guy, no, you don't. You're going to jail tonight. Like,
Starry says, strip clubs are just single mother fundraising events. Yep, that's totally. I mean, that's before long. They're telling you about that. In Utah, the way they do it is there's not that many people because they can't even drink in there really. So nobody's like really drinking and nobody's like really throwing stuff around. So then they have to go sit next to you and say, well, we have to get like 2 drinks from everybody because that's part of the rules here. They say it's part of the rules. And yeah. And then next thing you know, they're telling you about their kids and it becomes a sob story. Just like when you watch on the Food Network, the Chopped and who's the best cook, who cares? Who has the best sob story? It's the same thing with the strippers. Everything is a sob story in the U.S. now. Sob story pays money.
Oh yeah, did you hear about Gavin Newsom? His rough
Gavin Newsom.
He had such a hard childhood.
Gavin Newsom grew up on these mean streets, man. On these mean streets. Did you ever
find that clip of the Adam Carolla AI clip?
Yeah, I got it.
That is so brilliant.
Let me see if I can, because
I'm gonna bail real early today because I'm tired and I got a headache. And Jared is here, but
you want to watch the Carolla stuff first?
I guess because Carolla is such a genius, but like the way he described that, where he's like he realizes that like the way he sets it up is that he knows that if he interviews Gavin Newsom, people know who Gavin Newsom is, people know who Adam is, and they've already made up their minds, and so they're just going to interpret it however they want. Then he had this thought of like, well, what if we just have the exact same conversation but by different people? And it's just so brilliant because, like he says, like when you have Gavin Newsom replaced by Burt Reynolds, he sounds like a crazy person.
I had him as the cringe lord of the week, but first, the cringe lord is always first. Why is this not working? It's always first divas, but
the ultimate cringe. May he never be dethroned.
I can remember when Gavin Newsom and I were going through gang rush. I was leaning towards Bloods, but Gavin was talking me into going Crips with him. Podcast. It was about playing the bills, man. Hustling. I raised myself. Wonder Bread, mac and cheese. That's how I grew up, bro. Yeah, I have the clips of that because it's probably better than showing this. Holy
He
shit.
is absolutely a sociopath.
Oh yeah.
Oh
he's
yeah. Newsom recounts tough childhood where he got in one little fight and was forced to move in with his auntie and uncle in Bel Air. If you wanted to know the mean streets that he grew up on, that's his house in San Francisco Bay that he grew up in. These mean streets, these kids. I gotta reach these kids.
I didn't grow up with much. I can't do his. It's like his rasp on his voice is
I
too
grew
much.
up
It's
without
like
my
fake.
dad. I grew up with my dad. My dad's Getty billions. His Getty family billions didn't get to me until I was older. I had to wait until I was 24 to buy my own winery.
Yeah,
Well, 24 years old.
I learned that today. I didn't know that he had a winery at 24. Does he still have it?
Yeah, he still has it. I was looking it up. I've seen how much it costs now, and it just says you don't know the exact price. It's tens of billions of dollars. It's just a little bit, tens of millions. It's just a little bit north of San Francisco area. There, it's called something like. It sounds like pumpkin. It's like pumpkin stuff place or something like that. But let me find the news and stuff. Gavin News.
Did you see a couple? It was like a couple months ago. He unveiled his new wine or something, and it just had an N on it for Newsom. There's a picture of the wine, and then of course Groypers got on there and made an N-word tower out of it. They just AI'd the different words or different letters.
I've got Newsom exposed.
Racists are dangerous because they're fucking funny. And I'm starting to be convinced the easiest way to convince somebody of your position is to make them laugh about it.
Was it on this episode that he did the Burt Reynolds or no?
I don't remember.
Rudy, yeah, let's do it, huh?
Let's do it.
California Governor
Will we get
Gavin
struck
Newsom's
by Adam Newsom?
characterizations of his
Corolla won't strike us, no. This is just going. We're gonna play his being the homie real quick. We'll jump to it.
And that's where he came from, Bay Area. Look, there's certain indicators, and people should just know the indicators. Like, if you open a winery at 25, you probably have some money, some family, some backing, or what have you. But I was kind of trying to picture the psychodynamic of it, and we'll hear him. Let's listen to him, and then I'll tell you what I think.
But also, you know, it was also about paying the bills, man.
Yeah, man.
And it was just like hustling.
Paying the bills, man.
And so I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV. Started, you know, just getting obsessed, you know, sitting there with the, you know, the wonder.
The crowd are like, no, it's like just him moving his hands around and doing like all these like things like that.
Bread and 5 stacks of, you know,
like the White Stack Farm story.
Come on. Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Come on.
Man, bro.
Yeah,
You
bro.
talking about me?
Young YG.
YG,
But
man.
every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball.
I didn't see
throwing
the
ball
video.
against the
Yeah,
wall
man.
Until the ball is just like fraying, man. And your arms
Entertaining
falling.
yourself.
Come on,
That's it,
man.
the whole thing. So
All
just-
right.
and-
all right.
and then-
So you know what I realized? Obviously, he grew up with privilege.
Sure.
And his Nancy Pelosi and the whole thing. And okay, fine. Dad. Okay. You can do a bullshit thing where your parents got divorced, but if your dad is handling the Getty Trust for $4 billion, you're fine.
Doing okay.
Okay. Now, here's what I realized though, as I was trying to really think about it. He claims he was this. Like he grew up this way. He grew up this way. I don't know what we'll play a clip of him. Here's him talking to me about growing up with a single mom. Let's put it to you this way.
You want to talk some more?
Everyone wants to talk about an even playing field. I tell people there's no such thing as an even playing field. Some people grow up with rich people. Some people grow up, their dads own factories they can work at. Some people grow up poor. I grew up poor. I don't know where you grew up, somewhere in between.
Mama worked 2 jobs, and we have a foster family. And
some people, So everyone grew up somewhere different. Sometimes your ethnicity holds
And
you
by the
back.
way, in a divorced household where my mother stepped up and stepped in, and just because my dad wasn't there didn't mean I had no damn chance. There were other factors.
Well, he was there for a while.
He was there for a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
When did he cut
I
out?
was an 18-year-old pregnant mother, had me at 19, my sister at 20, and they were divorced a year and a half later. And now he's, he still played a role in our lives.
All right, so he grew up hard scrabble rich.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard
But as I
scrabble
was
rich.
thinking about this, I was like, all right, let's try to figure out this dynamic. You can clear this.
I found the
if you
Burt
like.
Reynolds stuff.
Cool.
I grew up poor, and I didn't grow up like poor sharecropper.
The thing is, like in the summers, he lived in this place called the Dutch Flats in Sierra Nevada with his dad's mansion house. You can't even look it up because it's like super private neighborhoods in these areas in like East California, kind of towards Tahoe. You can't even see it. But let's see here, like. They talk about how the elite San Francisco families funded Gavin Newsom's. We talked about the elite families, the Newsoms, the Gettys, the Pelosi's. The thing is, like, they go back generations. They go back 2-3 generations, every single one of them. Willie Brown, the Browns. Did you guys ever watch him? Did you remember that thing of him playing basketball in China?
Oh.
I don't know why he did that, man.
Kid was trying to set a pick, but he didn't have both feet down, so it was fair game.
Yeah. Let's see here. Hold on.
I want to be like a sensible NPR chick. So
I'll back it up.
that way we can hear it more clearly.
He said he had an old debate with Gavin Newsom where he's talking to him about, well, I guess stuff like we're also going to talk about tonight, like the food stamps and all that sorts of deals. And they had a debate, and he thought people just aren't hearing this because it's me and they don't like it's me. And Gavin Newsom somehow has some sway over people because he looks like Christian Bale from. Isn't it kind of funny if you think about it? If our next Bret Easton Ellis, who wrote American Psycho, he wrote that about Donald Trump, like using Donald Trump as an idea. And Bret Easton Ellis is definitely not Trump deranged at all. He's like out there saying like, what the heck are these guys doing? But he used Trump or Trump worship as the template to make Christian Bale, who is now Gavin Newsom. You know, it's all from Bret Easton Ellis. By the works of their fruits, ye shall know them.
I was working in the other room. I was over here with Joey, and I said, Joey, can you do some sort of AI thing where it's like you just get a transcript of this argument I had with Newsom, and then we'll have AI or actors or somebody read it, and that way we can hear it more clearly. And he said, well, there's no real AI actor voices. The only one there is Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, yeah.
So I said, all right, well, make Burt Reynolds Gavin Newsom in this scenario, and then make me a chick. I want to be like a sensible NPR chick. So Adam Carolla is going to ask the exact, it's verbatim. It's a transcript of our dialogue, but my voice has now been taken over by an NPR sensible chick, and Gavin Newsom's voice has been taken over by Burt Reynolds. And here's what that sounds like.
Perfect.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families have no access to a checking account or an ATM, things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
Well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't.
Why do Armenians have them?
But where they end up is a check cashing place.
But I want to know, why those groups? Why do those two groups not have access?
Just happens to be that we can talk about...
Are they flawed?
No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically flawed?
Hardly. Absolutely not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have problems. A lot of whites
Just pause it for a second. So you will realize that Burt Reynolds sounds insane.
Yeah.
In this conversation. Gavin Newsom doesn't because he's arguing with me and people don't like me. But when he's arguing with the sensible NPR chick, he now Burt Reynolds sounds nuts. All right. So, and to listen, I love it when he just goes, it just is. You know, it's like, why are they at the check cash? It's just that's how it is. Like, oh, thank you, problem solver.
Yeah,
that's right. We need more like guys like you in charge who can just bring up a problem and then go, It just is.
Just is.
All right, sorry. We'll continue.
A lot of communities have problems. A lot of whites have these problems.
So it's not just Black and Hispanic.
No, but it
Well, why did you bring up Black and Hispanic?
because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be just the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and communities are struggling.
Why are they struggling?
A lot of different reasons.
Hispanics have been here, Blacks have been here longer than we have been here.
Well, we can surmise.
What about Asians? They were put in internment camps.
Yeah, in fact, it all initiated out of San Francisco. The Chinese Exclusion Act came out of progressive San Francisco.
So are they at the check cashing places?
A lot of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you include them?
Because then the only reason why is the magnitude of the problem.
But there's...
I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure. Why would you? Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case. Because I want to deal with reality.
You want to deal with reality? I can tell you what reality is.
People are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way.
Why are they struggling and why are they suffering?
We can hold hands and surmise about all these other reasons.
I don't want to do that. I want to know why they're struggling. Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find jobs.
Why Blacks and Hispanics?
Across the board, all socioeconomics.
So everybody is struggling?
Everybody is struggling.
So Asians are suffering just as much as Blacks?
The face of welfare is not an African-American family.
Oh, so it's Asian, Jewish, it's all of them?
Caucasian.
Okay, we're all struggling.
A lot of folks are struggling.
Okay.
That's so brilliant. That really is. It's perfect. Just the inanity of it. It's so astounding. And then, I mean, I'm going to bail because I always get sucked in, but you guys are going to talk about food stamps. And I don't, did I send that link to you?
Which one?
What, the thing that shows that poor people eat more calories than not poor people?
Well,
I think you did, but I mean, you have to pull it up. But
Their,
I've got,
your grocery bill is also more.
But so, I mean, in fact, just today, geez, where was it? Maybe I can quote it. I wonder if I can find it. But somebody told me the most retarded thing I've ever heard in all of this last 48 hours. Oh, geez,
Starbase asked if he married into money. His dad was money. His dad was the lawyer and money handling for the Getty family, which was the biggest billionaire family of California through like the 80s and 90s. He had money. His parents divorced, so they had to live in that really nice little wooded bungalow off of the beach in San Francisco growing
Yeah,
up.
it looks like an Airbnb cabin that you would rent for $600 a night on the lake.
And then spent his summers in the mega mansion of his dad, who was the money handler for the Gettys. And yeah, that is a genius. A black woman invented the telescope. You might disagree. You might even have some evidence to the contrary, but you have to ask yourself, is this really worth losing the job over? A black woman invented the telescope. Let's see here. The Mamdani stuff all kind of ties into it too, because Glenn Beck did a coverage of that. Have you seen all the clips of Mamdani talking in different accents?
Yeah.
Mamdani, he talks in Indian accent.
Oh,
he talks
okay.
in an African accent. He talks in all these because Glenn Greenwald. Yeah, Glenn Greenwald was talking about them, saying like it's still the same problem with the whole Democratic Party, and why Kamala Harris, who says she's going to try to run again, can't do it. It's because they can't actually be authentic and just be themselves. They're still marching around trying to pretend to be whatever the people think they want to see or something like that.
Have you not empathy, man?
Yeah, but I mean, and eating with their hands. Like eating food with their hands and all that stuff.
I think the worst code switch of all time still has to be Hillary Clinton's. No how, no way. Like, there's been some bad ones, like Ocasio-Cortez sounding like a Southern Baptist preacher was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, did you see that they did? I have the link of it too. He did the hand to the heart and hand out the Elon Musk the Elon Musk Nazi salute. He did it, which I am told only Nazis would do that.
It would be really rough to be a lefty right now because obviously you're going to stand on principle and say that means he's a Nazi. I said it last time. I'm going to say it again. He's a Nazi.
Well, back to this quote from Millennial Wolves. It's amazing how much leftist discourse to just them pretending not to understand things, thus making discourse impossible. I listened to Dave Green have a debate this week with, I guess he's a crony of Destiny's, but the whole debate was, you guys call everything that you think that Trump is like, if it was before modern era, anything before like current modern era, you guys would call Nazi. There's not one. Name me a world leader that does not fit Nazi that existed pre-1990, and of course he just played dumb, like, who's a world leader? I don't know what, like, it was Abraham Lincoln a Nazi? According to you guys, he would be Nazi. Like, everybody would have to be Nazi if what you guys want to fit in Nazi. And it was the most frustrating debate you ever listened to, because it was all just this, like, what are you talking about? Is John Adams a Nazi? Is John Adams a Nazi? Well, John Adams wouldn't have liked January 6th, and that sort of stuff. But going to the food stuff. Whoa, how'd you get all that candy? EBT. You were looking for the
I can't find it because earlier today, because on some stupid lefty communist thing, and they're talking about like Republicans are literally going to starve children to death to pay for ballrooms, all this crap. And
pay for
like,
ballrooms. None of that's coming from
they don't know that. But and all of these, I've been posting things basically the effect of like, how can you simultaneously be starving and obese?
Yeah. So you looked up the obesity rates. It is like it's like three. It's 3/4 of them are obese, aren't they?
Oh yeah. But then because I want to find it because it was so retarded, and maybe she actually deleted it. Maybe she just blocked me because it was like this long paragraph, but it literally was saying, "I'm on Snap. I can't afford to buy healthy food." But it was like,
okay, buy unhealthy food and eat less of it.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, that's one option. But like,
there's been like a whole EBT TikTok thing that's kicked off, and almost everybody on it is extremely obese, like 300, 400 pounds. And not only that, so the stuff that's really coming out, and what's super frustrating about it is, I think in the end of all things, just like happened with USAID and Elon and the Doge department and all that stuff, none of it's going to get rolled back, man. Like, none of it's going to get stopped. This stuff, they're talking about, the Republicans aren't funding. It's the Democrats who are voting to not fund it. Even Jake Tapper said that. It's them who won't pass through like the little bill that would like allow it to fund through. But beyond that, it's kind of funny that the Republicans who don't really want it to be funded are also the ones voting for it to get just go ahead and let it through. But the EBT, so something like what is it? What was it? 42 million? Was it 42 million people?
Yeah, it's
1 out of 8 people are getting SNAP.
1 out of 8 people are on it. If you look up like the top 10 items, like the number 2 item is like sugary soda. It's all Oreos and cookies and all that sorts of stuff.
Well, I've been blue screening of deaf people all week long on a lot of these stuff about like, the shutdown and Medicaid and all this stuff. And I just asking them, should people who can work but won't get benefits? And I cannot get a straight answer to that. No one will answer that. And I know for years they've been talking about like, okay, you can't buy soda with SNAP. Like, what if we propose you can't buy soda and cookies with SNAP? And the left always freaks out about it. It's like, why? Like, you're belying the fact that these people are not actually starving and they don't need this to live,
Starbase says it's fruit, veggies, and meat, not EBT. It's a EBT acceptable. Beyond that, beyond EBT, they have programs for that stuff. There's like in Utah, there's programs for free. You can get like $40 of free fresh produce daily from just like a separate program from. I knew this because I worked at Rancho Markets, man.
You know what you can get for $200 of EBT? You can get $100 worth of cocaine.
Yeah, that's the other thing is there's all sorts of fraud going on with that, where they're going and getting cash money and selling it for other things.
Yeah,
and people who aren't on it.
Today about a woman who's getting $2,500 worth of EBT every month was caught selling it for $1,200 worth of drugs.
Well, I saw the PBD podcast break it down. Like the main people who are on it, or like the large amount of people who are on it, are refugees or are people like 45% of Afghans are on SNAP and food and all that sorts of stuff, and it's people just like coming over from these places. And Walsh went over how it raises the prices of food on everybody, like the whole entire thing.
Oh, that was the other retarded thing. The lady who said she can't afford to buy SNAP also said that for every dollar's worth of SNAP that gets spent, it adds $1.89 to the economy.
Yeah.
Tim
Waltz.
How do they figure that out? I want to know what kind of.
I know how they figure it out. I've heard how it's described. Here it is right here. Food stamp myth. People who get SNAP don't work. The overwhelming majority of SNAP recipients who can work do work. That is not true. SNAP is a drain on taxpayers. Every one SNAP benefit generates 1.73 in economic activity. And the Tim Waltz was pushing that one around. And I saw other people say 150. I think I have it in another tweet. Here it is, 150. Only the economically illiterate want to cut food stamps. Smash your windows, create wealth.
Exactly. Like
this is how it is.
This is one of those things. Like
it's an old economist joke. Do you want to hear how it is? Two economists are walking in the woods, and one has a dollar, and they come across some shit on the ground, and one says, "I bet you $1 you won't eat that shit," and the other guy says, "I bet I will," and he starts eating the shit, and he goes, "Okay, here's the $1," and then after a minute he goes, "Well, I bet you $1 back you won't eat that shit." He goes, "I would too eat that shit," and he eats that shit, and he gives him back the $1, and then they go and report $2 of economic activity.
Yeah. Like, because like if this is true, like why don't we just give everyone $10,000 of SNAP benefits a day, and that will solve the economy? Like
we could just give everybody $1. We could double almost all dollars overnight. If just everybody had SNAP.
Just give everybody SNAP, give them way more, and then we'll have all the money we'll ever need. We'll generate so much wealth that no one will be in debt anymore. It'll be perfect. That's the thing, like the people, I goddamn guarantee the person who posted this has a college degree. Like they have to have a college degree.
Tim Waltz said it. He's got some sort of degree, doesn't he?
Oh, probably
in fancy prancing.
Like this one was like, yeah,
he's
like
got a DAZ in fancy prancing.
You have to be educated to be that stupid.
Has anybody asked him like? When they say this, does anybody say, "Oh, okay, explain to me how that works"?
SNAP has a fraud rate less than 3%.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, right.
Bullshit. SNAP benefits undocumented have never been eligible for SNAP. Chris, you know something about that?
Well, so the way they're not eligible, but they're able to fake it and that sort of stuff. But it's also got completely changed. Here's the other thing that's like the big freak out of all this stuff. So much of what we're going through right now is stuff that got way more lenient in COVID times, and they just haven't rolled it back. Have you heard the stuff about them dropping the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act? They're like, oh my gosh, Trump's going to cut the Affordable Care Act. That is not Trump cutting the Affordable Care Act. Those are subsidies that got added with COVID that were set to expire at this time, the whole entire time. And they're freaking out so hard about it that they're probably just going to fund that too. And what started happening at work is they started accepting any single unemployment claim, even unemployment claims that were just, I had a little less work this week. They'll go and file for it. They'll get it accepted. They didn't charge every single one of them to the company, but they would accept all of them. So they'd announce to you. They announce to you if like, no, this is an unemployment claim. You didn't give enough notice or something like that. That person receives the claim. But other ones, they will say, this is being accepted, although it will not be charged to your company. So I get those announcements all the time from them. And that started happening since COVID. They just accept all unemployment claims, all no matter what, just for a little loss of money or for whatever. But SNAP went up triple the amount. It went from 4 billion to 12 billion a year in COVID times. And all people are doing is freaking out that it'll go back. Yeah, that was a number.
I thought I looked it up and I thought it was way more.
I heard the number 80 billion floating around.
I heard 99.
99 billion, but I think that was extended over time, that one. But and then maybe the one
this is saying in fiscal year 2024, the federal government spent approximately $100 billion on SNAP.
In 1 year? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was maybe like cutting it down to some other smaller amount, or like a month or something like that. Maybe my
that was
thing
a
was
few
going off of
though.
that. But that tripled since COVID. And so then also what tripled, we know there's 2018, like the low number that was argued with between pretty thoroughly argued with Crowder and Joe Walsh, and I think Crowder edged him out with the numbers. If you look up his debate on Piers Morgan, 18 million low end of people that came in under the Biden administration. But what happened with those people is they were able to go through this app and go into this thing. I've told it to people, and I still don't think they understand me when I say I've been in this for 20 years. I work with Latinos. I hire Latinos. I've hired Latinos. I've seen every fake card in the world. I've seen every real card in the world. I have hired more Latinos than anybody you've met. You know what I mean? That's a gringo. You know, I hire them, I pump them through, I pump them out. It's what I do. I've seen a million real cards. I've seen a million fake cards. Only in the last couple of years under Biden have I seen real fake cards. And what I mean by that is somebody will come in, the name is weird, it doesn't make sense, it doesn't look right. The person will tell me, I'll ask them because they have to give me their name to like log into stuff. I say, well, what's your name? They don't know their name. And I say, well, what's your name? And they have to look at their real card. Oh yeah, it's this. Like, yeah, that's your name. Because there'll be all the times where they're coming into me to try to get logged back in. We log them in under their real cards. We create a profile under their real cards. They're having some problem. They come to me. They can't get in. Say, what's your name? My name's Jessica Rodriguez or something like that. And I say, I don't have a Jessica Rodriguez. I don't have any Jessica Rodriguez in here. Oh, Kimberly Perez. You know, and I'll look at it. It's a real card. It's a real card. And this happens again and again and again and again. And this is one of the reasons why the vote for Trump went up, is because this pissed the Mexicans off something fierce. The ones that everybody's bleeding heart for, like these Mexicans who've been here 20 years busting their asses, guess who they're maddest at? They're not mad at these raids. They're mad at those people who came in and just immediately got cards and then could immediately qualify for these SNAP benefits, and they'd go around and brag about it. They'd brag to them about how much money they get put in their cards. They'd say they get like $3,000 a week, bragging to the Mexicans that they got it. And then they go in and say, oh, look, I got this, I got that, I got this insurance stuff. But they were able to file those asylum claims with nothing to prove, and they didn't have to prove it for 15 years if they wanted to. They just announced asylum. It got pumped through the system. Like for 20 years, if somebody didn't have cards, they weren't getting cards. And then all of a sudden last year is like, oh, just give me a week. And they come back a week later with cards. That happened a million times over the past 2 years. That's new. That didn't happen. And all of those people, they are all on SNAP. Okay, not only are they on SNAP, they are also on Medicaid. Every single day they come into me. We offer them insurance. They come into me. I still fill out the insurance for the Medicaid insurance because they say, oh, I didn't sign up when I was eligible. And they still just get approved with the government. I fill out those papers constantly. I filled out 4 of them today.
Yeah, but I think one thing I would say that you're probably forgetting and glossing over, but is that these are the tired and huddled masses.
They're refugees.
They're refugees. Yeah, I see in their eyes that they stared down a machine gun.
Well, a lot of them are
every single one of them. I can just tell that they survived the jungle.
Well, Maryland Father, for example, he's a refugee. He's a refugee from a rival gang whose mother he supposedly killed, but a refugee nonetheless. You know, he's worried for his life.
My apartment building has a bunch of subsidized housing in it, and like they're a giant company, and so they've got all kinds of deals with the government for subsidized housing. And starting during COVID, and then like 4 times a year, they give us this same letter over and over again reminding us, and it says that if you are a victim of domestic violence, you cannot be evicted. And I'm sure that there is no evidentiary requirement for that.
And what happens is the government just.
I just wonder if all you have to do is say like, "Oh, I was a victim of domestic violence." You probably just fill out a form, and you can't be evicted. And I just wonder, like, how many people are just not paying rent, saying, "Oh, I'm scared of the domestic violence."
Yeah, but like, so the company wouldn't want to advertise that unless the government is the government paying for the rest of the rent in those cases.
I'm sure that they've got their version of Chris, who fills out the paper and it gets like it just gets stamped, rubber stamped. Like there's nothing to it. I mean, I wonder if you'd even need a police report. I don't know if you do, because you can just claim like, no, I don't want to file a police report because I'm afraid of retaliation. You know.
You just like go in there with your
but there's-
boyfriend. Like,
Well,
I'm
that's
actually
what I wanted,
afraid
like-
for my life because he hits me.
No,
And,
this is
like,
like,
do
yeah,
you
it's
hit her?
VAWA.
Yes,
Violence
yes,
against women
I
act.
hit her.
My cat
He-
scratches me, and I can just go in there and be like,
No,
look,
I
look
know-
what my ex-girlfriend did. She did.
So I
this to me."
started noticing this at work too. That there was situations. So one was just a gal asking me about something that happened. She got hit by a bike on a walking path, and she said, "I think that person did it on purpose." That counted. That counted. She counted it for the VAWA stuff. She got her cars. And then there was another one, and I just started like picking this out and noticing it. Like, be careful yourselves in your regular world. This other kid who seemed to be unsuspecting was suddenly claimed that he did something to her in the elevator. And he's like, we were just in the elevator. I don't know. It's a he said, she said situation. But was she concerned about resolving the situation? No, she was concerned about calling the police. What the first time in years and years and years, they want the police there. You remember 10 years ago, they didn't, if somebody was illegal, they didn't want to talk to any police officer.
Yeah.
They wanted to make sure the police came. I don't care what you guys do to him here, if he gets terminated or fired, if we work together, but I want the police here. I want the police here, and I want the police called. And it's to make VAWA claims for stuff. And then, I mean, there's so much of this crap going on, and it's everywhere. But the thing that, like, so they're eligible for insurance, but they still just go file the insurance papers. Oh, and guess what? We didn't even say the number. Nobody gets the number. What's the number of deportations that's happened under Trump in this area?
50 a month.
It's 30 a month.
30
It's
a
30.
month.
There's been under 360 deportations since Trump.
There's at least 30 braceros outside of every single Home Depot.
And I
all
bet you
day,
every
every
single one they did deport, they made sure that they actually did have some sort of criminal situation going on with them.
Yeah, we've recently had a big raid at an illegal horse race bet, a betting ring that they were doing. I saw it, and they're like, big raid at this illegal horse race betting stadium, and I was like, I don't fucking care. People are fuck off. Don't waste time on. I don't care if they're betting on horses. And then they were like, 100 people were arrested, and a lot of them were deported. Like it was in cooperation with ICE.
Yeah. Do you guys ever see this video? I think it was the thing.
Some people say that mass immigration into the United States can help reduce world poverty. Is that true? Well, no, it's not. And let me show you why.
This is one of the other things of why Venezuelans and Mexicans hate each other. Because if you don't know, we've talked about it here before. They hate each other. Like I've got an almost race war going on with that. But one of the reasons they hate each other isn't just because of the country difference. There's also a major class difference between the Venezuelans and the Mexicans. What's the class difference? Because the Venezuelans all coming over here are the rich people. They were the rich middle class who came over here. They weren't refugees. The actual supersonic poor people in that situation didn't have a way to get to Utah. They didn't have any sort of like money or route to get here, and they didn't like swim across the ocean on some sort of thing and traipse through Mexico. The people who are here are rich people. They were the upper middle class who are likely the ones pushing down and holding down those other people in that area.
Gumball represents the 1 million legal immigrants that the United States has taken every year.
And then they come and they treat the Mexicans like they're shit bags.
On average since 1990. Now, who in the world deserves our humanitarian compassion? The World Bank has one measure of the desperately poor of the world. They make less than $2 a day. And how many people make less than $2 a day in the world? We'll start with Africa. In Africa alone, there are 650 million people who make less than $2 a day. 650 million. And in India, another 890 million people, desperately poor. China adds another 480 million people, making less than $2 a day. And unfortunately, the rest of Asia has a heartbreaking 810 million people who the World Bank says make less than $2 a day. And finally, there's 105 million of Latin America's population that are desperately poor. All told, the World Bank says there are 3 billion people in the world, 3 billion people who are desperately poor, making less than $2 a day. That's 3,000 gumballs. And every year, we take 1 million and suggest that we've somehow made a humanitarian difference? Of course, we don't pull our immigrants from these desperately poor populations, do we? These people are too poor, too sick, too disconnected to make it here as immigrants.
The ones who make it here, this is something that's called, Nick Land called it the IQ shredder. So like not only is just rich people can get there and leave behind the poor, but it also takes away their possibly most productive people. It's an IQ shredder of their place over there.
We tend to pull our immigrants out of the better off poor of the world. And Mexico tends to define the type of immigrant that we bring here because the plurality of people come from Mexico. And Mexico is poor. How many people in the world live in countries that have average incomes lower than that of Mexico? And the World Bank tells us that that number is these 3 billion plus another 2.6 billion people. 5.6 billion people in the world who live in countries with average incomes below that of Mexico. That's 5,600 gumballs. And so what is it that the elites are telling us? They're telling us that when we take this 1 million immigrants, that we somehow or another are tackling world poverty. And we have to do it regardless of the effect on our unemployed, the working poor, the most vulnerable members of our society, regardless of the effect on our natural resources. Even if we went by the most radical proposals in Washington, which are to actually double our immigration to 2 million a year.
This was before the Biden
administration. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Which would totally overwhelm our physical, natural, and social infrastructures. We couldn't make a noticeable difference. And we may be really hurting the impoverished people of the world because the million that we do take are among the most energetic, often the better educated, certainly the most dissatisfied people that if they did not immigrate would be the agents for change to improve the lot of all the people in these countries. The true heroes in the global humanitarian field are the people in these countries who have the wherewithal to immigrate to another country, but instead stay in their countries to apply their skills to help their fellow countrymen. Unfortunately, our immigration system tends to entice these very type of people to abandon their countrymen. The impossibility of making even a dent is actually worse than it looks here. Because last year, when we took 1 million immigrants, these countries added, births over deaths, 80 million more people into the impoverished population. And this year, Congress is bringing in 1 million legal immigrants. And this year, according to the United Nations, these countries are expected to add another 80 million people. And next year, you can be quite sure that Congress, unless stopped by the American voters, will bring in another 1 million immigrants. And these countries, unfortunately, will be adding another 80 million people into these impoverished nations. We could take 5 million a year, but we'd never get ahead of what's happening in these countries. Not in this century. Don't you
What
see?
if we took 15?
Immigration can never be an effective
I
or
think
significant
15
way
would do
to
it.
deal with the suffering.
See, what this guy doesn't know is that we just take 80 million illegal immigrants and give them all SNAP, and then that will add $1.72 to the economy for each one of those dollars, and then we'll solve it.
It'll double all the dollars.
Double all the dollars by giving them free money. That's
feels like,
economists.
that feels like Michael Scott trying to explain why a pyramid scheme actually works. I really would like for somebody to tell me that. I'm waiting for an actual person face to face to tell me. There's like 2 liberal guys and a couple liberal ladies where I work. I want to get in an argument with them because I want them to tell me that. And I want to be like, okay, explain. Tell me how.
It's magic. It's magic. The thing I saw today is like
if you take your blanket, I got this crazy trick. If you take your blanket and you cut 10 inches off the bottom of it, when you sew it back on the top, it'll be 11 inches. So every time you do that, your blanket will grow by an inch.
So the other end of this is I guess it's the same question Flip was asking on the other stuff with Quaker. It's just what's the limiting principle, like with Mamdani, the same old thing of, oh, we got to raise that minimum wage. I'm a good person because I say it should be $15 an hour. Well, why isn't it just better to say 16? Well, I said 17. Well, I said 18. It's all just imaginary anyway.
No, I just got in a fight with the regular guy, you guys know who, on lobsters, talking about all this. Because every time he talks about, well, healthcare should be free. I'm like, yes, and so should ice cream and beer. That's how I'm just so nice. Like, you stop at healthcare, but why? Why are you stopping at healthcare? Why not everything else? Anyway, I got sucked in again.
Parallel is a human right. Here, I'll be right back. I gotta go put this away. Hang on just a minute.
Yeah, hold on.
So there's only not one lonely person. We must be boring the audience. We're talking about tea.
That doesn't make any sense. Here's one. Here's a Noel Harari It's not actually him. It's a riff off of him. 4-year-old, is money real or pretend? Me clears throat, takes sip of water, arranges notes on podium.
Oh,
Um,
it
let-
really like it is terrifying to me, like just how because like I mean part of it obviously is because I'm engaging in it, but the sheer number of Facebook groups with the word communism in the group name.
There's
And
Troy.
the things they're saying.
You're leaving right when Troy's getting here.
Oh.
The things that they're saying. What?
Just because it's like just the communism, like the actual communism, and like it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's growing. It's growing well. I mean, Mamdani's gonna win, man. Mamdani's gonna win, and so many people are like caught up on the stuff of like. Did you see the thing where he said his aunt was a he pulled the. 11. My aunt felt very afraid riding, and then it turns out his aunt. She was afraid riding with her hijab.
It wasn't his aunt, and she wasn't in the country at the time.
Yeah,
that guy's such
but
a jerk.
it's totally Norm Macdonald. Like, oh, my biggest fear ever is if 9/11 happened, Mamdani's aunt would feel uncomfortable in a train ride.
Troy, I've tried everything. I've Googled it. I've plugged the error code into the thing. Do you know why I can't get No Man's Sky to run on my VR? It will not fucking work. Anyway.
Hold on. I don't even pull that stuff. Here you go. Yeah, come on.
Some pretty extreme rhetoric on both. I think everyone should have what they need. I'm literally a fucking Nazi. Wow, there's some pretty extreme rhetoric on both sides.
She does seem pretty fair and unbiased, but let me tweak it a little bit. Stop relying on the government for everything. You're a fascist. I'm gonna shoot you in the neck.
I think everyone should have.
The thing that's bad about that is like hers is nuts and his is kind of real. You know what I mean? They are.
I'm gonna be a mayor for all New Yorkers, like for my Indian brothers. Don't redeem it because everything is going to be free now. To the Ugandans, I say, everything is also going to be free. Very good. Hey, to my homies, you already know what time it is. You know I was a trust fund baby, getting my rent for free type shit. I'm just trying to put you all in game. You already know the weed's gonna be free, you feel me? 8's for free, everything for free type shit. Let's lock in, come on. And to my white New Yorkers, free.
I have the stuff on. I don't think I'm gonna pull it up, but he really does have all those different accents. He really goes that hard with all of them. It's wild.
I'm from New Delhi. It's just really good.
It's such pandering stuff. It's so pandering.
But next thing, like, I mean, because obviously the right has their.
Is that a famous bowl?
That's like because obviously they have their sycophants too, but like it's just so. I mean, as much fart smelling as the left does about how educated and they understand science, you know, like they're the intellectual people, like how
they don't fall for those tricky religious people. Those tricky religious people aren't going to trick them into no religion, and then they just go for the dumbest pandering stuff.
Yeah, like I mean,
the memory of my aunt.
How does anybody take Kamala Harris seriously? How?
And then there's this like this Corolla. I had it, but I'm gonna go with it. They went into some detail about how crying is the new manliness on the left type stuff.
Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
So important. What it's kind of dangerous for her to not be in her hijab because this could happen.
Oh.
A Muslim girl posted a video of herself dancing without a hijab. Her father and brother beat her mercilessly. She recorded a video. So I mean, I guess that is dangerous for her.
That was in Minneapolis.
Feel like she should take off her hijab. Yeah.
Was that in Minneapolis or in Birmingham?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, we can see from footage of it here. I don't know. You know, but I guess her hijab's on there.
He's holding the baby.
But you know, we got more problems to worry about here than we're worried about. Somebody said, not just to go on with the other stuff, 22% of the people in New York City do not speak English. Like they don't speak English well, like to like a conversive way. And those are the people who are voting Mamdani in. And there is some sort of stuff. I saw some argument from Aaron McIntyre, and I think it's kind of true that a lot of the stuff of like James Lindsay, the stuff we used to focus on of getting into the Marxism and all the deep stuff that comes from that's how all the awfuls, the affluent white female liberals justify it to themselves and all that stuff. But really just Mamdani and them are just like, I have that, gives me that, I'm here, gives me that. It's not like they're not coming in on highfalutin ideals.
What's that you eat rice with your hands? Wow, that's so cool. I'm never going to vote for you. I'm never going to vote for you, and that's okay. And that's okay for me to do. That's an okay position to have. That's a logical fallacy. I hope it is, because I'm a human being. From an identifiable and static geolocation, I'm actually not a finely tuned Reddit argument. I don't want to be represented by finely tuned mid-wit Reddit arguments. I'm not voting for you. Like, what I can do as a human being is to notice differences. To notice, identify, and categorize when things are meaningfully different. I think a hot dog is meaningfully different than a sandwich in maybe some ineffable ways. Likewise, in the same vein, I feel like eating rice with your hands, dripping slop with your bare hands, and a slice of pizza. I feel like those are also probably meaningfully different in maybe some ineffable ways. And if you can't see that, you're also not going to see my vote for you literally ever, because we are different, you know?
But so many people are focusing on the ant stuff and all that. But really, truthfully, it should just be on how stupid his economics are. Like free bus rides, free, like even what's weird about it is everybody's saying that they can pull New York City, and the claims that he wants to do, they can pull and see that those aren't popular. It's like 80% of the people think the free bus rides are stupid, and would just create a homeless shelter on the bus rides.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
More so than they
I'm
already
trying to
have.
remember. I'm trying to remember the stats, but isn't it like that? 90% of economists agree that a free bus ride that would otherwise be $5 actually adds $17 to the economy.
Oh, that's true. I forget about economics, man.
And I'm
Economics always
not
gets-
smart enough to understand how it just evaporates money out of thin air, but I'm so glad it does.
I think actually, if somebody rides the bus for free and uses it as a urinal, that actually adds $38 per mile to the economy.
That was an awesome slip.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just give Flip a final.
Yeah. I was totally planning on leaving as soon as Jared popped on, and I always do a bad job.
Or I could insist on you staying in place. Staying in place.
Stay. Shock him.
That.
I'm gonna give you a pitch for governor.
Wait, what is NMS, Flip?
Oh, it's the No Man's Sky, the video game.
Oh,
I was impulsive a couple
of
of
recent
recent bought a VR headset to play with the English kids.
Oh, dude.
And everybody says that No Man's Sky on VR is awesome, and I cannot get it to fucking work.
Is it like a Quest 3?
Yeah, it's a Quest 3.
See, I got a Quest 2. But I don't think it could handle that. Have you tried Super Hot? Because that's my favorite game on the VR. It's like you're like you're fighting a bunch of polygon guys, and you don't move at all, but they're like shooting at you and attacking you. And it's if you stand still, so does time. And as soon as you move, the faster you move, the faster time goes. So like there's bullets coming at you, and you got to like carefully move to dodge them, or you can like take your knife or gun and block them, and you can like throw things at the guys and shoot them. Huh. There's a lot of like time fucky games that are really fun.
Yeah.
Time stall. You work on like an intergalactic space Carnival cruise ship. A disaster happens, and you have to kind of like as this time is slowed down, you have to like set certain things. Like there's a champagne bottle and a box is about to fall on a guy's head, and you shake it up and pull the cork off so that when time goes back, it like ricochets off the box and knocks it away. That was pretty fun.
Do you want Dax Flame, who is going to manifest friends into his life, or 20-year-old girl opinions for president?
20-year-old girl opinions.
For most of recent history, 20-year-old girl opinions have been the cornerstone of media, entertainment, and online political discourse. And for that reason, I'm the first person running a candidacy fueled entirely by the opinions of 20-year-old girls. Hi, James, grown man with the opinions of a 20-year-old girl here. Could I be counting on your vote this election? Sure, Biden has 20-year-old girl talking points, and Trump's like a 20-year-old girl on Twitter, but my opinions just finished a few semesters of a liberal arts degree. I'm promising simple solutions to complex issues, to have zero problem holding conflicting opinions. Under my presidency, America will borrow all money on a high-interest credit card and then deal with that in 5 years, which is like forever away. I'm so sorry to bother you when Mercury's in retrograde, but I'd love to tell you about my plan to get rid of homelessness by giving every homeless person $1 billion. My healthcare plan is to provide every citizen with a therapist that will tell them nothing's their fault. My stance on that will depend on what I most recently learned in class, but I can promise you I will criminalize being a meanie. I plan to offer neighboring countries unsolicited advice while making sure that our country is ostensibly a fucking mess. My entire caucus will be sloppy drunk by 9 p.m. under the guise of self-care. Good question. I'm going to give them more money. 400 new holidays for finding yourself. Yeah, I think the funding is going to go up for that one, yeah. Problematic police? No more police. People not obeying COVID rules? Hire more police to arrest them. And I vow to put off getting my driver's license indefinitely. Now, Ms. Anderson, would you be interested in a candidate who will find out about U.S. atrocities in real time and lecture you about them in real time? Did someone say celebrity endorsements? 80% of Twitter hashtags are written by girls in their 20s, and I'm going to make damn sure that those Twitter hashtags represent 110% of my policy decisions. Someone who will stand up for America by making ludicrous proposals and claiming to be unheard when not met. I may be a white man, but my opinions identify as a 20-year-old girl.
It's more real than satire.
Yeah. You got to watch One Autistic Hero of the Week. I'm making you. Here it is.
This is Daniel, and this is Jacob, and they are actors, and for the next 2 weeks, they will be pretending to be my best friends. The reason we are doing this is because I've always fantasized about having a super close group of friends, and so this will be like a manifestation or visualization type technique. So here's an example of the type of content we will be making. He's coming.
You got me. Okay, I'm definitely getting y'all back later.
Good morning.
How do you feel? Wet? Yeah.
Yeah. I've also cast an actress to play my girlfriend for the next 2 weeks, and we'll be making content together as well. And visualization has helped me to accomplish many of my career goals, so now I'm hoping it will help me to accomplish my personal life goals. This is Daniel.
All right.
Okay.
You're ready to go.
Those fucking prank videos are so retarded.
Which ones?
Just those prank videos that
they're
always
people
so
do the.
fucking fake. Like there's like ones with husbands and wives.
Oh, I thought didn't you send one earlier of husbands and wives, a comedy duo making fun of the husbands and wives faking that?
I don't think so.
You didn't? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's always so obvious. Although the one that looks real is that couple that are always foam splattering each other. Those look real. Have you seen those ones?
I don't know.
They just go all over the house and they get hit by foam balls that shoot at them or stuff like that. They set up different. I mean, that one obviously you could see it being like a real thing, you know. But
yeah. You want a Degenerate book?
Yeah, let me.
If you had something else, we can do that later.
No, I mean, the first stuff was Mamdani and EBT, and I guess that really kind of covered it. I was actually kind of worried it would take the whole time, but we keep going. I've got Degenerate Book Club. We had the Gavin Newsom. Man, we actually hit the stuff that I meant to hit on accident. That's weird. Degenerate Book Club. Then I've got down here is just mostly the surviving Mormonism stuff that we didn't hit last week. So.
Yeah, that's coming out soon. Really excited. Okay, so the text I promised would come last week when I downloaded this Degenerate book. But Morgan was busy dealing with an asshole 3-month-old. He's adorable, but he's been an asshole the last month. But I got the text later in a group text. She sent it to our group text with like Flip and Chris.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sent a screenshot of it. What the fuck, Jared? It was kind of funny.
Screenshot that.
The night, what made her actually look? The night before, I had an alarm set at a weird time, and she happened to be like awake trying to get the baby to sleep, and the alarm went off, and she's like, "Jared, turn that off, turn it off." And I'm like, groggy as I'm trying to get up. And she's looking at my phone while I'm trying to find the clock, and I keep pulling up Audible for some reason, so that picture flashed a couple times. And then she just took my phone. She's like, "Oh, let me do it." And she turns off the clock, the alarm. And so the next day she's trying to think of what that picture was. And then she saw it on a video.
She didn't know. She didn't watch last week.
No, she didn't. And so she watched a video about it. She's like, wait a minute. That was the book Jared got. Yeah. Texted me. What the fuck? And I showed her. Yeah, I showed her a clip of it. I don't even think I'm gonna finish it. It's just
how far have you gotten?
It's not a very long book. I still have like 2.5 hours left, and I keep rewinding it and showing it to people at work.
Morning Glory Milking Farm. Oh, you let them listen to the stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll show them like a nasty part or whatever where she's like fantasizing. It's so fucking descriptive. It's so descriptive. She pictured his thick veiny cock slamming into her from behind.
Oh my gosh.
His big full balls smashing into her wet twat as he fucks her.
You're making this up or you're reading
orgasms around it. That's the clip I keep telling people about. And it's not verbatim, but pretty much. Like it's very descriptive. And the pail that he's
cow.
holding,
she's doing that with a cow.
Yeah, so I made the joke last week when we were looking at this about, oh gross, he's holding a pail of cum. It's really cum. That's like she's gathering, she applies for that job and she just harvests cum from bulls, and so she jerks them off, puts them into the machine, and that right there, that pint of cum he's holding, a quart of cum.
I can't believe they have that picture on there. Well, I mean, that was AI generated, right? That picture, I'm guessing.
It might have been, but that's what the cover of all romance novels look like. Yeah,
but they don't usually put the pouring cum in there.
Yeah, well, I think it's supposed to make you think it's milk, but because it is out of a milk pail, but it's definitely cum. You know. Anyway, basically the gist of the story is that she signs up for this job and she goes there, and the first fucking bull that comes in there, she is just a natural at hand jobs for bulls, especially. She plays with his frenulum, and I don't even know what a frenulum is. I can't remember. I learned it in anatomy, but
I'll grok it. I don't think I can Google it because that will probably show something.
This reminds me, my wife is pissed off because she's running a book club in our stake for 10 plus years, and they've lost most of their members because some other woman started a romance book club. Your poor wife is trying to read real books, and they're like, well, we could do porn instead. Bestiality porn, even.
Did you say frenulum?
Yeah, that's...
The frenulum is a small fold of tissue that restricts or connects the movement of a mobile organ in the body. The term comes from little bridle.
I don't know. This lady
so it's like this thing under the tongue. That's the frenulum.
Oh yeah, you probably got one.
So I guess it's probably like the thing
or
connecting on your balls or something.
Something like that.
Upper labial frenulum between the upper lips and gums. Lower labial frenulum between the lower lips and gums. Overgrowth can cause a gap between front teeth. Oh, penile frenulum connects the foreskin to the glands. Heads of the penis.
She's like looking up these technical anatomy terms I guess that's how you bait the way, because it fucking worked. Anyway, so the first bull, she gives such a magnificent hand job that he just falls in love with her and he wants to. That's what I
hand
thought it
job
was.
made me fall in love. I was doubtful until
And
that.
he keeps requesting her when he comes back. I don't really understand how the economy here works because like they're paying these bulls for their cum, but
Every
a lot of the
one bull cum turns into $1.80 of bull cum.
yeah,
Every
but they tip them. The bulls will tip them, and I'm like, how much are you getting? Like this one specifically tips her $100 every time he comes. Like, how much money are they paying you for your cum that it's worth it to tip her $100?
yeah, why should he be tipping when they need his cum for the medicine?
Ugh, I actually didn't figure out what they need it for.
I thought in the Shoe on Head video they said they need it for other males, like you and I could use the medicine made from his
Oh, I'll just die. You know,
but it's just in a blue chew. They're making blue chews, man. Blue chew.
Oh yeah, it gives you a boner. Okay, well, anyway, the most interesting. I didn't think I'd say anything was interesting, but the most interesting part. Well, actually, I was going to say first. I looked up this author, and she had another book, and I was like, wait a minute, this book is about a woman named Violet who works at a Minotaur milking factory too. Like she's got two of those, but what the fuck is it? No, she did the Stephanie Meyer thing. She wrote another book from his perspective. She wrote this fucking book twice.
And it just goes moo.
Yeah.
Moo.
But she's pun intended. She's really milking this fucking. No, so the funniest part was her coworker on her first day is describing the different categories of jackasses that'll come in there and get their dicks milked, right? And
so it's the Minotaur, and then it's also just like what, like a jackalope, and
no, this is specifically a Minotaur cum factory.
Oh, so some of the Minotaurs are dickheads.
Yeah, well, there's different categories. There's the ones that get really turned on by it.
And this guy doesn't get jealous that she milks a bunch of them?
He probably does. I imagine she gets whisked away by him at the end and quits her whore job.
From jerking off all my colleagues, babe.
Yeah, well, he's what's known as a clock watcher. That's what they call him. He's just in there for the money, and so he wants it to go as quickly as possible. But she changed something in him with her expert hand job skills. And what he calls the personal touch. Like, there's something about you and the way you jerked me off.
This is so stupid.
I can tell you're different.
Ah.
I know. It's funny because I listened to a part of a podcast where these disgusting, degenerate women talk about these books. And one of the things they mention is there's a few times throughout that she has to convince herself this isn't sex work. This isn't really sex work. This is medically necessary.
Medical work.
We're farming this cum so we can give it to people, and they're getting my.
It's like inseminating dolphins.
And one of the smut ladies, her big problem with this book is that she never outgrew that and said actually sex work is okay. She just kept saying, she just told herself this isn't.
Who's
sex
to say?
work.
Who's to say?
Yeah, I know.
Who's to say?
Anyway, funniest part, they're talking about the categories. You got the clock watchers. You got the I don't know, like the two pump chumps, basically, who just come right away. And she gets bukkakied by one of them because she doesn't get the tip on his dick quickly enough. And she's like, oh no, I got cum all over my scrubs.
That's the comedy part.
But but the most interesting category was they're called the good little cows. That's what they call them. And they're bulls with autogynephilia. Like, they come in there fantasizing about being a dairy cow who is being milked, and they request that the jack offers wear a milkmaid outfit. And for some reason, they actually do it. Like, they put on the milkmaid outfit, and they come and jerk these cows off while they pretend to be a female cow that's actually being milked instead of a dude that's being jerked off. And I was like,
what?
Oh my God, did she accidentally stumble upon autogynephilia? Like, if the transes find out about this, they're going to be fucking mad.
Charles remembered our Loving the Brine trip, exploring queer feminist blue post-humanities to reimagine the America's Dead Sea. But you're getting all technical and sciencey here. Loving the Brine Strip, exploring queer feminist blue post-humanities to reimagine the America's Dead Sea is science academia. This is a fun love book. This is a book about true love and true romance. This book, so
and
don't mix up your academia with love cum.
It's a book mostly about cum, but also about romance and how she's just the awesome main character. Nobody can give a hand job like her. She's a Mary Sue of hand jobs. It's funny because she's actually very innocent at the beginning. She didn't even know that this cum farm existed. She didn't know she was signing up to work at a glory hole for bulls. She just thought, she's like, oh, it pays well.
She was just like one of those students who said, "Oh, I'll go."
No, she's seriously like a disaffected college student who she has a degree in something gay and retarded, and the gay and retarded foundations won't hire her until she gets a master's degree. She's in debt, so she's like, "I guess I'll be a bull whore," but she didn't know if she was going to be a bull whore, and she spent time. There's some class issues too. She grew up in basically a human-only section of town, so she didn't really deal with minotaurs or elves or orcs or vampires very much.
How far into the book are you?
I don't. I might have gotten like halfway through. It's not very long.
Mary Sue of hand jobs. Mary Sue of hand jobs. Most of us had to put in the work to get good at working minotaurs. So, that's so true. She just has the hero's journey instead of the hero's journey. She just had to realize she was always good at milking minotaurs and just accept that.
They even got to put
going on the hero's journey of having to face off with the.
She's, they even have to put the Mary Sue trope in smut novels. Oh my God, no one's ever given me a
You
hand
were
job
always
like
the
that.
best.
We can't even see her. He didn't know she's hot. I have to imagine if this thing were real, like fat chicks would jump on that shit right away. Like, you mean I can be a hoe, get paid a lot of money, and he don't have to see me? I finna do that.
Let's try to write it like men and think of what would a hero's journey actually be. Call to adventure, supernatural aid, threshold guardians. So she knows she has to go jerk off the Minotaur, but
it's the medicine. The medicine that they used to make the cum is the only cure for her dad's rare sickness, and he's gonna die. So she's the reluctant.
You have like a Tom Bombadil chapter before, like where they have to sing before she goes off on her jerking adventure. So she meets up with her neighbor Tom Bombadil, who says, "Well, sing the song of the cow in the forest.
Don't suck on it because then you won't get the cum in the bucket." Boom, 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 boom.
I guess the hero's journey would only ever work with this one. The hero's journey. She was always great. She just had to discover that. If you follow that with like all the Mary Sue writing, like that just fits in everywhere. She was always just the best. She just had to realize it.
That was Captain Marvel. Like the whole thing she learned because they tried to get her.
What was that chess TV show that we brought up before?
Oh, the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, she was just always the best, and anybody who tried to help her or study with her were just in her way because she was already way better than them.
Yeah,
you can't help me.
Captain Marvel was exceptionally bad because they tried to tell her to control her anger, which is just like good advice. If you have rage problems, you should probably suppress your rage. Not suppress, but like figure out how to integrate your shadow, if you will, and deal with your rage in a healthy way. But what she learns is that the reason they told her not to rage out like a bitch is because it suppressed her powers, and then they could still control her. And so she learned, the only thing I did wrong was not give in to my base temptations and rage out like an asshole.
Charles says someday when she's older, she's going to have a scene where she says, "I'm not in the game anymore. I left that life behind." Then she'll have one when she's really old where she tells some people on the wrecked Titanic about her Minotaur drinking days, and they're like, "Oh, we don't believe you." And then she pulls out like this hidden bucket of cum she held the whole time, and she, this was the $1 million bucket of cum, and no, I've never told you. And then she just dumps it in the ocean instead of giving it to her family or a museum. If you get me $10 for a handy, it actually adds 15 to the economy. I think we're finally figuring out economics over here, and we might all start voting Mamdani now that we understand. I think we've learned that if we give dollars, dollars come out of the dollar come. It's just like, wow, it's all coming together psychically to me here. Just like if she makes him come, if we give $1, one more dollar will come. Morning glory. Vote Mamdani. Steve says, of course she was in debt. That's what will happen if we don't forgive those debts. Siobhan Head had a good line about that. She's like, we have a world where we can imagine manitars that we jerk off for money, but we can't imagine a world where we don't have student debt.
Oh yeah, this was funny. So this was on a post in like my local. It was crazy because like I'm telling all my coworkers about this today. And right after that, I showed them several clips and they were like, "Fuck, that's gross." I showed it to Morgan and she like, "Turn it off." That
You're
is
gonna get in
fucking gross.
HR trouble, man. I'm just reading the book.
I'll tell them I'm gay.
Oh,
Fuck
okay,
you.
yeah.
What are you gonna do to me?
Ollie,
I suck
Ollie,
dick.
oxen free. Ollie, Ollie, oxen free.
Now that my local Idaho Falls Facebook page, some lady posted about her smut store opening up in Rigby that's close by. And so I just posted this. I was like, men, you will never be as disgusting and degenerate as we are. Women, hold my white claw. I'm gonna go write a book about jerking off minotaurs through a glory hole. And this was a lady who owns the bookstore, and she said, actually a mellow read. You'll have to follow between the covers, her store, to find some books with some decent spice. I was like, look, I understand that this is mellow by your standards because, you know, we talked about the holding the lady's face in a shark tank while you drill her from behind, or the dude that put his Glock in the woman's pussy, which, you know, that was written by a woman, because a woman who's never touched a Glock in her life, because if you get a woman that knows anything about guns, you're like, would you put a Glock inside your vagina? She'd be like, oh my, that would tear me up. Are you kidding? The sight alone would just, I would need surgery after that.
Hey guys, Steve says maybe Carden is right about Jesus coming back soon and burning up. I think it's the only next thing that could happen. The only next thing that could happen is the cycle of pride. This all has to fall apart and we all have to go back to Mormon Jeebus. We brought this upon ourselves. Women's fiction is a spectrum. Margaret Atwood, breeding property, government, to milking farms, breeding property, monster. I tried to look up the one that lady recommended, and it didn't seem that spicy, but I don't know if Grok knew the story. But I found the actual write-up of the Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton, the spicy dark romance novel you're describing, published in 2022. The key scene breakdown, the setup, Enzo, furious over Sawyer's deception, lures her onto his boat for a research trip. He dumps buckets of fish guts into the water to attract sharks, heightening the danger and her fear. The debauchery. While in shark cage, submerged near the frenzy, he takes her from behind, doggy-style position. Mid-act, he repeatedly dunks her head underwater, forcing her to hold her breath as she panics about the circling sharks getting too close. The terror amplifies. The intensity, her survival instincts clashes with the raw, punishing sex. The cut on her face. In the heat of the moment, he bites her lip hard enough to draw blood, leaving a visible scar as a dark mark of his romance. Yeah, and then he dunks her head back in when it's bleeding so the sharks will attack her face. Now that's spice.
This scene is a standout for its blend of erotic thrill. Erotic thrill. Yeah, that's what you getting shark raped and your lip bitten off. I'm Jesus. What the fuck, women? What the fuck? Okay. Look, I'm not a collectivist. I don't want to blame all of you, but many of you.
These are the works of the fruits that we've all come to gather upon the world of ex-Mormonism. We can judge the world of ex-Mormonism by the work of its fruits. And
this is all a psyop to get me to renounce free speech. Like, okay, you know what? No, you can't say what you want. You can be punished for things you say. All right. If you write a book like this, you're going to jail. That's okay. Fuck you. You win. We don't get free speech anymore.
See, because I was thinking about recommending Eminent Victorians as a bad book, but that is nothing. Surviving Mormonism with the Diva's wife.
Dude, how did you survive it? Like it was.
I don't know. I flatlined. You ever seen the movie Flatliners? It's Halloween, man. I flatlined. And then I came back out. But then some of the things from the other side followed me. They followed me back.
No, it's us survivors. We got a lot of trauma.
Man, speaking of which, I've been listening to a bunch of YouTube horror, and man, does that stuff suck. I listen to it and I walk around. Every once in a while, there's a good one, but like 1 out of every 10. Most of them are just like, I heard something in the woods and I felt the fear in me, felt it in my bones. Never saw nothing, but I felt it in my bones. There was something there. Like, well, what's funny is I tend to believe them because there's like, yeah, you heard something in the woods. You know, they don't ever say that. They hardly ever say that there's anything much more there. Troy says, I saw Flatliners in theater when it first released on date. Good movie. It is a good movie. I remember it's got, was it Kevin Bacon in it? No, Kiefer Sutherland, or both. That was one of the first R-rated movies that I'd ever seen. And back then I had only a few R-rated movies and I had them hidden in my basement. I don't even remember how I got them. And one was Bram Stoker's Dracula, which we've talked about here before, which is almost a perfect movie except for Keanu Reeves. I saw the beast in my house. It's coming for us now. And other than that, freaking beautiful movie. And The Crow. I guess they're all kind of horror movies. That's how I got a hold of them. But yeah, Flatliners is good. If nobody, I think they remade Flatliners, and it just felt like most remakes nowadays just fell down. Starbase Collab's first R-rated movie was Gladiator. I was going to talk about, because Matt Walsh made like a big deal this week, and it kind of got some legs of talking about when was peak culture, peak entertainment. And
he said 2007.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. I think he's right in the sense of if it wasn't the peak, it's one of the last peaks.
Mm-hmm.
It was a peak.
Wait, what was your first R-rated movie?
My very first rated R movie. It has a remake coming out right now. It was The Running Man. The Running Man, which people don't know, was Stephen King, but it's not listed as Stephen King. It's one of those fake Stephen King books, and they're about to release a remake of it, and it's gonna suck like most things done. Even though the 80s one was kind of schlocky, it was kind of like WWE wrestling stuff. Did you ever see the 80s one?
The what?
The Running Man?
No, I didn't. Did I?
It's Schwarzenegger. So
I've told you what my first R-rated movie was on this before. I know I have. Do you remember?
No.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh yeah, that's a wild one to see, man. You saw
it's fucking freaky. I think it
you
fucked
looked
me
into
up.
the depths of the Illuminati on your very first.
I did. Well, and I was like 6. My grandma just had HBO, and we were staying the night at her house. And I knew HBO had boobs, and I wanted to see boobs.
And there's boobs in that one.
I saw them, but holy! I watched the creepiest scene in that again as an adult, and like.
Which one? There's a lot of creepy scenes in that one.
I think the creepiest one is when he first goes into the sex cult and they're doing that weird ritual and there's the chant going on the whole time. And I'm like feeling it in my bones. It like takes me back to being fucking 6 years old and being like, what does it have? I really want to see tits, but like, this is freaky, man. And I was like, oh God, this feels evil.
I remember, so I had the same thing. I had no idea I was watching a rated R movie. I was at a friend's sleepover, and they were Mormon friends, and their mom let us watch it, and I had no idea that the mom would let us watch rated R movies, so I didn't even like go into it knowing that I was in that danger. And I was in that danger, and I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, this is pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, in the elevator, Schwarzenegger says the F word, and it messed me up because I was like, I idolized Schwarzenegger at the time, and then also I was like, wait a minute. That's on tape. So every time he says it again, there's no repenting of it. He can't repent of it. It's on tape. Every time it's said again on tape, it renews the sin. And it messed my young brain up.
Oh, dude, want to hear a jackass pious Mormon thing I did? I was hanging out with some friends, and we're like, let's go rent a movie. One of my friends was old enough to drive, so he drives us to the rental place. And they're talking about which one they want to see, and they wanted to see Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I think I was like 16 at this time, so I should have been more rebellious than this, But I was like, well, that one's rated R. They're like, oh yeah, but it's just one scene where he says the F word.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is?
Yeah, it's because of the Get me a fucking car.
This
right
is the problem with us
now."
80s kids. Is like I probably saw it at somebody's house a million times, but it was probably like a made for like a TV release version of it. So I probably know the TV release version of Planes, Trains, and Automobile like the back of my hand.
So we go to the friend, but they still want to watch it, even though I was against it. We go to my friend's house to watch it, and I'm like sitting in the back, and I was like, I got to be strong and not watch this. So I like went to another room, and I called my parents to pick me up, and like
I had some experience, and
like
then I went back in.
I made it like I pretended that they were calling me, and they were like, "Wait, what's up?" So they thought something was really wrong, and then like they call me that they're there to pick me up. I was like, "I gotta go, guys. My parents need me." I'm like, "Okay, see ya." And I go out to I'm marching out there. They're like, "Yeah, my parents are gonna be so proud of me." They're like, "Dude, what's up? Why were you acting so weird on the phone?" I was like, "They were watching an R-rated movie, and I knew I wasn't supposed to do that, so I left." And my dad was like, "What was it? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?" He's like, "Oh, dude, that one's not bad. It just says the F word a bunch in one scene. That's fine."
What's the scene? I don't even know the scene. I'm positive I've seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles at least 15 times.
It's where he's trying.
And now I'm positive I didn't realize I was watching some home recorded made for TV version of it.
It's the part where he goes to get a rental car, and the lady's like telling me, "Oh, we can't do this. We can't do that." She's being a pain in the ass, and he's like, "I need a fucking car to fucking get home to my fucking family, fucking right now." I don't remember the exact.
Dude, this is so wild. I'm sure I would have remembered that scene. So I have seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles a bunch of times, and not that scene.
Dude, the best TV edit ever. Die Hard. Did you hear that one ever?
Oh, where he says "Yippee ki yay, mother effer"? What is he?
Yeah, he says "Yippee ki yay, Mr. Falcon."
Do you know who? I just found this out recently. Do you know who did the voiceover for TV for Richard Pryor?
Mm-mm.
The dude who does the voices on Full House. What's his name? Uncle Joey. Uncle Joey could do a Richard Pryor, so they hired him to do all the voiceover for the swear words on any Richard Pryor movie made for TV.
Huh.
Yeah. Someone says you've got an awesome dad. The Running Man, I guess it was originally written by Richard Bachman because he was trying to see it. I mean, it was kind of before its time because if you go watch the old one, it's campy, but it's all about reality TV and turning reality TV into like a murder thing. Now, of course, they're doing a new one that's about to come out with this guy who I guess is in all the things now. He was in the new Tom Cruise. What was it? What are the flying ones? This guy's in freaking everything now. What's his name even? Glenn Powell? But it's Edgar Wright directing it. Do you know who Edgar Wright is?
Yeah.
I mean, he did all that really good stuff. Like
he directed my favorite iteration. My favorite superhero movie, the Fantastic Four.
The most recent one?
Nope.
Or the older one?
The Michael B. Jordan one.
Oh,
it's the worst one. Yeah, that was Edgar Wright, and he bitched about it a lot because they didn't let me do anything. I was trying to do this and this and this, and they changed it on me.
Well, his actual movies were always really good. Like they got that, like trilogy in England where it's like what is it? The what are they called? The Edgar Wright. Movies.
Oh, he did Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, Scott, because he has like a style, but he did the ones that if you really watch them and watch them back to back are come on, these ones here, Hot Fuzz.
Oh yeah, Hot Fuzz.
Baby Driver was really good, which that one got totally buried because it came out right after the Kevin Spacey stuff dropped, and it just got buried because of it. And it's worth watching; it's really good. But it's filmed like this stuff because he's got like a good style. World's End, Shaun of the Dead. Because if you watch them, every single one of them. Like there's never just like a normal scene change. If you watch any one of them, like each scene wipes to another scene, and there's like weird camera angles, and there's flows and stuff like that. And
I watched Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead for the first time on my mission.
Oh
yeah.
And were those R-rated?
Oh yeah. By the end of my mission, I gave 0 fucks. They gave us that DVD player to watch training material on. Made us sign a thing saying. we promise we won't use this for worldly movies. And I was like, yeah, right. And I bought a bunch of pirated movies for like 3 reais for 4 movies.
Troy says for the TV broadcast of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, they replaced Spicoli calling the teacher a fucking jerk with a dub of a fuzzy nerd. It's so much funnier that way. We were just talking earlier about loving Chris Hansen, but his new, we liked it, but I liked it better on the old network versions when he would just say, "You said you wanted to bleep bleep her in the bleep bleep," but now he's saying the words. We should redo them. I mean, we played earlier the butt one. We should have Jared like do made for TV versions of voiceovers of what.
Well, part of the problem is
I would like to booger your brains.
I think like part of the problem is they wanted it to look like the lip movement was correct when they do the voiceovers, when what they should have done was just own it and replace it with something at least reasonable, like yippee-ki-yay, you bastard, or something like that. But they're like, okay, what does motherfuckers look like? Mr. Falcon?
The mouth moves.
Yeah, let's do that. Looks exactly right. That looks exactly like he's saying Mr. Falcon.
The new Running Man looks terrible though. It's Edgar Wright and it's great, but the story, people say it's closer to the book. I haven't read the book, but the old one was like in the 80s, them talking about a future where there's just reality shows, and the reality shows have this criminal stuff, and they manipulate the editing with the reality shows way before it's time for like what ended up happening with the world. But I guess the new one is like the reality, because in the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, it's kind of like he goes into like a reality show gladiators thing where he fights all these other gladiators. So it's a little bit like WWE. It's still a good movie. It gets stolen by the guy who played the person who plays the game show host is the person who did a Family Feud back in the 80s, the same guy. And people say he stole the show. But the new one is just with Edgar Wright. It's like, here's a show, and the show is the whole world tries to kill you. And if you survive, you win, or something like that. Okay. And he's trying to go save his black baby mama and the black baby and all that sorts of stuff. And it already came out all over Twitter. It's like he's got like a black kid and all that stuff. And like, what? But fine enough. There's HBO right now has new It stuff releasing. I wasn't too thrilled about it's prequel to It stuff.
Do you know? This is not a lot of people know this, but you remember Scruffy Nerf Herder in Star Wars?
Oh yeah,
that's a TV edit. What she actually said was she called him a skanky faggot.
Nuh-uh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. Dang, I was hoping that one was real.
That'd be awesome.
Everybody else is saying in there, like Troy said his first R-rated movie was, where was it? We lost it. Charles's first was Aliens. That's a wild one to see.
That would have been awesome. That would have been way cooler. Because part of what seeing Eyes Wide Shut first did to me was I thought it was basically a requirement to have a lot of tits and ass in an R-rated movie. So I'd like find one on, like, all right, I can see some tits and ass now. And then I wouldn't. I'm like, why would you make an R-rated movie and not show me tits? Why would you do that?
Dead seriously. I think I've said this on here before, but my friends and I got a hold of one of our neighbors. We snuck it out of their house. They didn't know we snuck it out of their house. We just saw it was R-rated, and we're like, we are going to see some boobs. It's R-rated. We're going to see some boobs. We go watch the whole movie. Guess what movie we were watching? We were watching A Fish Called Wanda. We watched the entire thing of A Fish Called Wanda to see if there was some sort of boobs in it. And we're like, no, I don't think we even like. I watched the whole thing. I don't remember what the story is really. It's basically kind of a. Have you seen A Fish Called Wanda?
No.
I mean, it's the guys from Monty Python and stuff like that. I don't even remember why it was R-rated, but we'd never seen R-rated before. I'm like, we've gotten R-rated. There's gotta be something in here.
Yeah, like, I don't know what this Shawshank Redemption is about, but it's probably got some tits in it because it's rated R.
You imagine like I don't know what age we were, 14, like 14-year-old boys sitting around with our faces plastered to A Fish Called Wanda, waiting for the boobs to come out, and we don't even know what's going on with the thing.
That's people are like, that's one of the things I don't have a lot of quick recall on memory, basically. But if you ask me the rating of pretty much any movie from, I don't know, like 93 till 2010, I probably know what the rating was, because
Oh yeah, we used to track that stuff. I remember. Do you remember? Maybe you went through as a kid, but we'd see the trailer for a new movie coming out, and it would be something awesome looking like Blade, and you don't know until the end of the trailer. So you're just like sitting there watching the trailer, and it's like watching for a lottery ticket. Like, yeah, that looks sweet. That looks sweet. That looks rated R. Oh,
gosh, dang it!
Oh, we're out. Oh. I remember that every time. Or if something just turned out to actually be PG-13 that didn't look like it was going to be, like, what? No way. Yes.
That was like Die Hard. Not a lot of people know this, but Live Free or Die Hard, PG-13. I knew that because
I knew that.
It was the only Die Hard movie I watched.
Same reason. Charles did Schindler's List. I got in like the 4th grade. We got to watch Glory and Schindler's List because it was parental. Those are the only ones my parents ever gave permission to watch. But by the time we were adult teenagers, they stopped caring so much. And so,
dude, you know, our history teacher showed us a very, very brief clip of The Last Samurai, and no violence, no nothing. It was just showing some Japanese culture, I guess. I don't know how accurate the movie was to samurai culture, but whatever. He's showing it to us, like, 1.5-minute clip where nothing at all happens. They just talk, and they're in a Japanese setting. He got in trouble for that because that movie's rated R.
Dude, we got to see some, like, Roman Polanski made Romeo and Juliet that had boobs in it, and we got to see that in school.
Wait, was that that wasn't the Leo DiCaprio one, was it?
No.
That one was like, so fucking dumb.
This Romeo and Juliet here has boobs in it, and we got to watch it, and I don't even remember. And I remember one kid walked out like, I can't watch boobs. I don't even think it was R-rated. I think it's PG-13.
Oh, shoot. What was it? There's a movie with... It's about like the witch trials. Why can't I remember the name of it? I think it's very famous. We watched it in my English class, and it had a boob in it, and it wasn't rated R. She's just like running away, and there was like a boob, and it came out of nowhere. So we were like, whoa. And our teacher is acting, she's liberal English teacher. She's like, it's just a breast, everybody calm down. I was like, we're high school kids, you fucking retard. Have you ever met high school kids before? Anytime we see a boob, we're going to be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, Mitchell Clark said the Crucible. You might have A Fish Called Wanda better now. Kevin Kline plays a character who pretends to know Nietzsche but doesn't know Jack. Oh man, yeah, I gotta watch it. I was such a young kid. I did not know what was going on. I was just like, this scene looks like it might be promising. They're kind of in a room.
Yeah, it was the Crucible.
Another movie we watched like that, which didn't pan out, was Jennifer Aniston in The Leprechaun, and we saw that before Jennifer Aniston was Jennifer Aniston. We saw that like right when it came out, and we're like, that girl is beautiful. I hope it shows something. And we watched that whole movie, which is not a very good movie, but it's a good campy one to watch in hindsight. But no, it does not show Jennifer Aniston's boobs.
One of the saddest moments of my life was when I was like 18 years old and found out that there's like no movie where you get to see Jennifer Aniston's boobs.
You thought it had to be. Actually, I think there is now,
Is
and I don't
there?
think you want to see it. Yeah, one of her later ones I think did have it in there. I should watch A Fish Called Wanda now. Everybody remembering what it was like in being that young and not knowing what you'd be able to watch or not.
Of course,
And then,
it's better if you don't see Jennifer Aniston's boobs, because like once you see him, you're just like, yeah, that's what I expected. I don't know. Why did I hide
yeah,
this?
I mean, it's not the same as when we were young, man. It's just not the same anymore. I remember. Oh, I brought it up before. This is one of the first movies I saw boobs in, and it's PG-13. Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox. PG-13. I don't think it was. I don't know. It was one of those 1991. How old was I then? Well, I don't know if I watched it right when it came out, but yeah, that's like 12 or 13 or something.
Right? You say 1991? Oh, yeah, that was the year I was born.
I don't know. It's funny, like you get this scene right where he's looking out in the road. That's when he's seeing her with that's his face looking at boobs.
Oh.
And that was my face also looking at boobs right then. Like, what is this? And it's this gal. Who is it? Someone famous? No, I do not want to play the trailer. Anyway. Let's all the way back to surviving Mormonism. This chick from the real Salt Lakes, the Salt Lakeism. I mean, the Mormons like defending the ex-Mormons defending this is, well, we got to listen to their stories or see their sorts of things or something like that. But like it's so obviously just like a grab, like a clout grab for this lady. Like, I could be the new Leah Remini of Mormonism. I'm going to be the one who swoops in and looks at all this stuff and is like, oh my gosh, I never knew. It's
you want to
obviously
know the funny part is she is far and away the most likable person on that show.
I didn't watch
Housewife.
it.
Oh, me and Morgan have watched a lot of it. It's embarrassing. We like watching shitty reality sometimes. I think we're the demographic that I don't think there's people that watch it for enjoyment. I think most people hate watch it like I do. So I'm getting fooled by it, But yeah, she's the most likable, and she's an idiot. I've read.
I watched her on John DeLynn, and she had her book. Didn't she have a book?
Yeah, Bad Mormon. I've read half of it. I haven't finished it yet, but she was like a Jack Mormon for the most part.
Yeah, and she's a Jack Mormon that assumed we were all Jack Mormons.
Well, yeah, but then she went on a mission.
She did?
Yeah, she went on a mission in France, and because her and her friend was like, let's go on a mission. She's like, okay. That's how she frames it in the book is, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
YOLO. Let's do a mission. Like, you fucking kidding me right now? I dreaded that for 16 years. As soon as I was old enough to realize what a mission was, I was like, that sounds awful.
It was a cloud. It was a cloud. I remember I would dead seriously in primary would not sing I Hope They Call Me on a Mission. I hated it. Oh God, I know I got to do it, but I don't want to. Yeah, it was a cloud hanging over the head. Youth. My youth was a golden, happy youth, and I attribute a lot of that to Mormonism. Like, Mormonism is part of that golden, happy youth, but it did have a dangling, hanging dark cloud over the whole thing that I knew I'd have to go on a mission. Just your brain's so different that young. Like 2 years away sounds so much longer away than but from years away, 4 years away, just like, oh, I don't even want to think about that. Like, ugh. It also kind of got mixed in with like my friends' older brothers and the places they went. Most of them went to like kind of dreary, dark places like Russia and Finland and stuff like that. And like, oh, that sounds nightmarish and terrible.
Oh, I'd have been fine with that. There was zero part of me that was ever like concerned with how many people I baptized.
Oh, I didn't think of that either.
Like, I did not give a shit.
I wanted to go somewhere wild.
People were talking about how depressing it was. Like, some people I knew who like went to Japan, and they're like, it was depressing because like nobody wanted to listen, and like nobody. That sounds awesome. I would fucking love that. Like, I mean, I wouldn't love it because it's still a mission, but I could do more just walking around and seeing shit while I ask people, want to learn about Jesus? Oh no, I don't care about your Jesus.
Well, what's interesting about this is that's not even out yet. I'm sure it's going to kind of stink, and I think it's kind of dumb that any random sort of celebrities Mormon, they turn it into content. It's like, dude, like there was a big movement of a bunch of people after Leah Remini, who I think completely genuinely went through that whole entire thing and had her HBO documentary and stuff of looking into the Scientology stuff.
People who watch that are going to see this and be like, oh, hell yeah, another one. And they're going to watch it and they'll do one of two things. They'll be like, oh yeah, this is a good follow-up to the Scientology thing. Or they'll be like, really? Like, it's just like
it's part 2. It's like the next monster series. Oh, we got Ed Gein last time. Who's it this time? Mormonism? Wow.
Somebody gave you the stank eye for like buying a beer or something. Like,
well, that's actually, since it's not out yet, and I don't know how bad it is, and I doubt I'll watch much of it to even find out how bad it is. Maybe it's fine too. It's just, who cares that lady's going and seeing people she notices Mormonism. Whoopie-doo, lady. Like, we've got a lot of other people been noticing Mormonism for a long time. But the Mormons on Twitter actually put up a good comeback to this. Did you see all that?
I haven't really watched any of that now.
So the Mormons come
Oh,
out
like on
in.
Twitter, how they talk about what they survived. and
Yeah,
shit like that.
they come in and just start cracking on it about surviving Mormonism. I thought this was pretty funny by all of them. Like, if Mormons keep pulling this stuff off, it's kind of like when they countered South Park stuff of saying, like, you've seen the play, now come read the book. Like, the more of this stuff they can pull off, the more this way people can be about anything, the more they win. Here it is, surviving Mormonism, and it's just me trying to remember which member gets the sacrament tray with the gluten-free cracker.
Yeah.
If you want to read them, I can't.
Like, really, what it's not on the screen, but really,
now it is.
The biggest thing about surviving Mormonism is it's just surviving boredom. Like, that's all it is. And I hate the word survive.
There's some people had a shitty time. We will never deny it. Some people had a super shitty time for sure.
Yeah, they did. But like, I hate the word surviving because, like, I remember somebody posting in some group about, like, this is my group, survivors of infidelity, and I didn't say anything, but I'm like, wait, do people normally die of that? Like, of infidelity? Like, it sucks. I'm sure getting cheated on fucking sucks. I don't want to take that away from you, but you were always going to survive it. You weren't going to die. But Matt says it's more like enduring. Yeah, sure. Enduring boredom. Okay, anyway. Surviving Mormonism, and it's just me trying to remember which. Oh, you already read that one.
Did you read Matt's? I froze for a second on my end. I want to see. Charles says 90s gooning. Am I freezing?
You did, but yeah, I did read Matt's thing.
Okay. Charles saying 90s gooning feels so nostalgic now, but my son still tells me finding a stash of porn mags in abandoned buildings is still a thing, though. Pre-smartphone gooning, watching Nip Tuck. Oh man, I forgot Nip Tuck existed. Maybe Vacation was the first time I saw. Oh, I forgot Vacation had the boobs in it. That is one that I rewatched as a young Mormon. That's a good poll. Vacation. Being from not huge LDS population, I knew I would basically be dipping on it. I can remember everything that I saw a boob worth rewinding and rewatching on crappy VHS tapes. One was the Under Siege with Steven Seagal. there's a stripper who pops out of a cake. And we might have and in that Bram Stoker's one, although it was hard to watch because she was like dealing with a werewolf, but that Bram Stoker had some stuff in it too.
Yeah, man, this Minotaur porn almost makes American Pie just look quaint. Like, why can't we go back to traditional pornography? Damn it!
American Pie, the naked girl on that, I met her in person in Las Vegas. What was her
name?
She naked? She was not naked. She was just walking through the casino in Las Vegas during the World Series of Poker. I went to the World Series of Poker once and walked around it and saw all the famous people there playing the World Series.
Mm-hmm. Surviving Mormonism, and it's just me having to retrieve the card. Dude, my church building, when we first moved to Idaho Falls, it had one of those in it. Like, if you go off to like the left, there's this weird crawl space that you could get into. And it went like
we had a wild, that went all the way under mine too.
Yeah, it went like all the way under the floor of the gym and past. It was fucking awesome.
I actually assume that's still there because my old church is still the same. It's only a matter of time before they rip it down because they say ew.
Surviving Mormonism, and it's just me sitting in fast and testimony meeting, asking the Holy Ghost to stop prodding me to give a testimony. Surviving Mormonism, but it's just a painful collage of people saying moisture in prayers. Surviving Mormonism, but it's just me cleaning the church bathrooms on a Saturday.
If they were smart with that show, they'd stop being so heavy with it and they would do something like that. Just like have her sit there and watch like a bunch of moisture, and see if she just cringes away like, ah.
Surviving Mormonism, but it's just me sitting there listening to shitty talk jokes about how I almost didn't pick up the phone when I saw it was the bishop. Thank gosh for caller ID. Surviving Mormonism, and it's just me waiting until winter or cold or famine to eat meat. Surviving Mormonism, but it's just me feeling guilty about my ministering assignment. Surviving Mormonism, and it's just me holding the Feed the Missionaries sign-up sheet and making sure the whole Sunday school sees me check my calendar and display disappointment on my face before passing the clipboard to the next person, even though I knew damn well from the very beginning that I was never going to sign up. It's just me sorting books and blocks after nursery. It's just me having to redo the sacrament prayer. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I got in so much trouble one time because I was just me and my friends were just the deacons. And there was a guy who was given that thing, and he was obviously a little slow, a little on the and he couldn't do it. And we just started cracking up. And you know how like it pulls out like a little like tray microphone? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
He put it back and he hurt his finger on it too. And we couldn't stop it. We were just sitting there dying laughing. They had to stop and wait for us to stop laughing at it. And we didn't even it was one of those situations where I didn't even want to be laughing. I was like, no, stop laughing. Do not laugh. Dude, and I was just giggling. I could not stop giggling. We got chewed out afterwards. I'm like, I know, I didn't mean to. I really didn't want to.
I got in trouble for when we were reading the prayer. I would always fuck with the guy who was reading it. Try to get him to screw up, like nudge him or something. Or like I'd make a fart noise soft enough that only he could hear it. Or I'd say something crude. Very sacrilegious of me. And then they would do it to me. But that's like one of the things I'm good at is reading shit. So like, just read. We got a couple good submissions. Steve said, surviving Mormonism, getting one middle management calling after another, but no beer. Charles says, surviving Mormonism, but it's just me rolling my eyes whenever my sister-in-law says, oh my heck, all the fucking time. Garbage says, surviving Mormonism, when the old guy farted in the Provo temple every time he stood up, but I was trying not to laugh with 18-year-old missionaries. Yeah, the old person farts that just fall out. They're like,
I bet you something like that would go a long way on Hulu if they actually did like a lighthearted thing like that. Oh, my computer.
That would be fun. I don't know who did Church Ball, but get that guy to do it because Church Ball was actually funny.
Yeah, but if they just like did it like a real like people's real irritations with church and just kind of showing how that stuff actually goes,
yeah,
that would work, man. Let me get down here. My computer still is conking. Where were we at? There we were. Oops.
It's just me sneaking out of Sunday school the minute I hear let's break into groups. Oh, yeah. It's just me trying to carry more folding chairs in each arm than anyone else at the end of state conference. It's just me waking up a little early on Sundays to get my kids dressed and presentable for church in the foyer. Yeah. Surviving Mormonism, and it's just me in Sunday school trying to figure out which way the sign-up sheet should be going. Surviving Mormonism, and it's just me trying to figure out how to make the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints fit into my X posts so that I can avoid referring to us as Mormons and still come under 280 characters. I love that one.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, I think that was all that one. Yeah, that was a good. Nick Emery almost walked out of the session. We were dying. Surviving Mormonism and listening to my mom complain that she can see my daughter's midriff on Instagram.
Is your mom like Jewish or something? Like I don't know. I pictured Kyle's mom when you said that. Stephen, you should really get her to cover up. It's just not appropriate. What do you think? Are you thinking of the awful thoughts that the older men are having for her?
He's got the whole South Park thing going on there. I saw an old guy fart loudly in the temple. He was deaf and didn't know anyone could hear. After the fart, he smiled at some sisters and said, well, hello, lady.
Hello, lady.
Anyway, I don't know if it's worth going into any more of those slides there. It's just Stavros. They're trying to push Stavros. That's not boring Stavros.
What's the Stavros thing? I don't know. I don't
They're
know.
just trying to. Do you know who Stavros is?
I know who he is. Yeah, I just don't know him very well. I really.
They're just trying. So now that Hassan's out, they're trying to put Stavros in as the new Joe Rogan of the left. That's all.
Really?
They've really definitely been pushing around. I mean, that's what that thing is right there, and you know, they're constantly trying to find the new Joe Rogan on the left, and now it's supposedly Stavros.
I can't tell you how hilarious of an indictment it is on the entirety of the left that Hassan has gotten away with saying the most depraved shit imaginable for the entire time he's been on the internet. And the left is still like, Joe Rogan of the left, Joe Rogan of the left, Joe Rogan of the left. And then they found out he's kind of a dick to his dog a little bit. And they're like, nope, we can't do this. No, we can't have this. He talked about ripping. He talked about disemboweling people he doesn't like.
They had Mamdani having him from L.A. show up to support his New York run for mayor, and he's the guy famous for saying we deserve 9/11. Like that's just 20 years later. It's so crazy. So yeah, so this is Stavros. If people don't know, he's kind of a good comedian. He was on a podcast for years called Come Town, which is okay. And all three of the guys from Come Town now have their own podcast, Adam Freeland and Nick Mullen. And they're all kind of vying to be the next big thing. I think they sort of had a falling out on that thing. They're not as bad as some of the other ones because they've always been shit libs, just in the sense of they have never been censorious. You know, they've always been fine with how the left used to be, you know, the left before 15 years ago, that they were the crass and wild and weird and whatever ones, and could handle and roll with any punches. So they're better in that way, but they're still just complete stupid commies.
So what they got to do is they got to put together a list of traits that the Joe Rogan of the left would have to have. And so you think about it, like, okay, we got a Joe Rogan of the left. What stances ought he take to be on our side and be the Joe Rogan of the left? He's got to, you know, got to be able to talk to people pretty well, converse with people. But stances, we got to make sure he's pro-choice, obviously. We got to make sure he's pro-gay marriage, obviously. Pro-legal weed, obviously. We got to make sure that he's for things like single-payer healthcare. Okay. And then they're going to name out all these things, and they're going to be like, okay, let's get a list of all the people who fit that. And then Joe Rogan's fucking face is going to pop up on it.
Yeah. It's
like,
exactly
all those things I listed, he's for those things. Like, I disagree with Joe Rogan on abortion.
Yeah,
right?
he's basically just like a lefty.
But I don't know.
I really, Charles says, I really hope Stavros starts introducing himself as Joe Rogan on the left all the time. Like Stavros, he gets along with those guys. He's been on Joe Rogan, although people were kind of denouncing him. Oh gosh, what's his name? It came out just like a little while ago when Mark Maron was denouncing all those guys for suddenly being in the anti-trans stuff and all that stuff. Stavros jumped on that a little bit, like, well, I'm a little bit not cool with the way you guys talk to the downtrodden trans people. And so he jumped on that train a little bit, which is a little bit frustrating. Andrew Schultz was talking shit about him, saying like, don't get on that high and mighty bullcrap. You guys who are always been kind of a big shit talkers anyway.
Yeah.
Here it is. Hold on. What were you saying?
It's just the only defense you can find of the trans shit when you're trying to argue the logistics of it is how does it affect you? That's always backed into that corner. How does it affect you? Or this doesn't happen very often. Like, you didn't say anything at all to address my argument. You didn't explain to me how a male could possibly be a woman. You just said, don't worry about it, buddy.
Come on, I'm a little past that. Who you hurting? Who you hurting? Who you hurting?
It's kind of mean, you know?
Which it's almost all the way back to that, because it used to sort of be that, and now it's gone through the whole entire evolution of the complete psychoticness and canceling or screaming down of anybody who said anything about it, all the way back to like, who's a hurting? Who's a hoiting? Who's a hoiting?
Guys were having Trump on their podcast. I just thought that sucked. Even if you like the guy, right? Which I don't, that sucks.
Yeah.
You're not smart enough to have, like, a real journalist should be interviewing him. You're doing it because it's clicks, right? Because it's like, and because some comedians have deluded themselves into thinking we're important. Once you think you're important, you're not. It's pull the handbrake. You're not funny anymore.
Yeah.
And Stavros Halkias just went on the Good One podcast, and he didn't hold back. He called out the comedians who allowed politics to infiltrate comedy.
He's on he's on Shane Gillis's show Tires. He's kind of a funny role in it. He kind of plays a Danny DeVito character.
Oh, he's a disgusting character, and he does great in it. And Morgan, that was the first time she's seen him in anything, really. And every time he's on screen, she's just like, God, that guy looks so fucking gross. Just unsightly.
Yeah, and that's who they're gonna. I mean, they always have to like have some sort of a sea monster to be their person. Like, they're still just not going to get a Joe Rogan on the left, but.
Broke down the sad state of stand-up and addressed the viral moment with Jordan Jensen, the one where he corrected her for using a slur and somehow became a villain in the eyes of people like Andrew Schultz.
Comedians having other comedians on their podcast and then forgetting how to riff.
The slur was that she said tranny, and she wasn't even like trying to talk negatively about them. She just, it's like an old-timey. It's already passed for people to like get like overly offended at somebody misusing that term. The girl wasn't even trying to be insulting.
Honestly, Schultz's outrage feels more personal than moral. He's still salty about getting called out by Stavros for buying Trump snake oil. Stavros also talks about how the pursuit of clicks and followers has taken over comedy. Guys like Theo, Schultz, and Rogan traded punchlines for engagement, and the audience got duped along the way. He's not angry, like most of us, just disappointed that so many comedians handed over their platforms to grifters, all while thinking they were defending free speech. Midway through the podcast, the interviewer brings up Joe Rogan, because it wasn't long ago people thought Stavros might actually be the Joe Rogan for the left.
Speaking of Austin, this is the part of the interview where we talk about that. It's about a year since the idea of the Joe Rogan of the left was discussed about.
Yeah.
But I promise we're going to talk about it so good you'll never have to talk about it again, or you'll have to talk about it nonstop.
Yeah.
They're still trying to do it.
It's that meme that shows the cluster of acceptable beliefs in liberal circles versus conservative circles, right? Because you think of the Joe Rogan of the right that we have currently, like your average right-wing guy, Matt Walsh, right? What does Joe Rogan and Matt Walsh agree on? Gay marriage? No. Abortion? No. Weed? No. Not even alcohol. Matt Walsh seems to think alcohol is awesome, but like they've got so many of these stances that like Matt Walsh thinks you're killing babies, and you think that some babies should be allowed to be killed, and Matt Walsh is still okay with having you be the Joe Rogan of the right. But how many boxes would they have to tick on being exactly dead in line in lockstep in order to be the Joe Rogan of the left? Like actually, easier way to ask it: how many boxes would be able to remain unchecked before they would be booted out from the left?
Yeah, you can't be pure enough, and they're of course going around right now putting out a bunch of think pieces about their purity all over, of course, but they can't be pure enough, especially like these three guys. Like they're pushing these three here. I'll show you. This is they were announcing their podcast. This is Nick Mullen and Adam Friedland. They all have their own separate podcasts now, but they're the ones who are the up and coming to take over Hassan. Oh, come on. Man.
Hey, Dracula.
Hello, Adam.
What are you doing?
The intro's still wrong.
No one cares about the intro, man.
It's no good.
The intro's fine, man. There's no issues.
It needs jouissance.
I don't know what that means.
Nobody knows what it means.
You know where Nick is?
He's sleeping.
Oh, God.
We've been working all night.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck did you do to him?
I sucked him. I sucked him dry.
All right. Well, is he going to be like a Dracula now or something?
It's not how it works. It's more like Down syndrome. You're just born with it.
Listen, man. I was hoping I'd get a chance to talk to Nick because you've been around so much.
So you can see they're lefties, but they dare to be edgy boys.
Yeah, he said something about Down syndrome there.
Yeah.
And we haven't really had any private time between the two of us recently.
Yeah, that old story.
I don't understand. We worked together for 6.5 years, and now all of a sudden you're in complete creative control of our entire project.
And with my help, this will be the greatest talk show anyone has ever seen.
Okay.
What's your favorite talk show, Adam?
Have you seen him they made the rounds lately because he interviewed he's getting on like politicians and stuff on the podcast, but he had Michael Knowles on recently and they pumped around that they were pressuring Michael Knowles like, why did you take on the college kids? Why are you just going beating up on college kids type stuff?
Well, that's the
I
dumbest.
don't know.
I see that criticism all the time at Charlie Kirk now. Like
Yeah.
I've seen Destiny level that criticism at Charlie Kirk. I'm like, Destiny, you're doing that right fucking now. Like you completely ripped off Steven Crowder's Changed My Mind, but which is fine. I his idea. It was a good idea, and you went and you did it too. I'm not shitting on you for that because you also argue with people that are not just stupid college students. You argue with a lot of people, but so did Charlie Kirk. I mean, Charlie Kirk went on the podcast of the governor of California and took him to task.
Yeah, but these guys, I mean, obviously they'll have Michael Knowles on, right? They'll bring on like conservative politicians, and so they have a better chance than all the other people that have come before because they, number one, they are actually funny. Like genuinely, they have good jokes. Like if you follow, I used to listen to Come Town here and there just to listen to them because they were funny. Stavros is funny on Tires. They're funny. They're funny guys, and Stavros is on Kill Tony all the time and stuff like that. But now I don't know if they've had a falling out because he's suddenly acting too cool for him or something like that.
Is
after
Tony
the Marin thing.
is Tony funny?
I think he is. I think he's a good insult comic. I think he's good at coming up with insults on the spot.
Because my biggest criticism of his trash pile thing wasn't that it was racist. It just was like
that wasn't funny. That wasn't. Funny.
That was like the boomer that sits next to me at work could tell that joke. You know, it's just man.
Do you watch any Kill Tonys?
No, not really. I've seen the only clips I've seen is when it's like Shane Gillis doing Trump.
Okay, did you watch the Tom Brady roast?
No.
Tony destroys Tom Brady on that one. It's hilarious.
Really? Okay.
It's really, really funny. Watch that whole thing. That whole one is funny. But beyond that, Tony, he is the kind of the person who writes also for the non-comedians. So if you go and watch that and you watch any of the celebrities who are joining in, those jokes were mostly written by Tony. He's just straight up a roast comic. Okay. But one of the things that he really impresses me with is Kill Tony is about bringing up any rando from the crowd. They bring up any rando that's drawn from a box. So they bring up a rando from the crowd, and he has seemingly written jokes for the randos from the crowd who come up. Like he's just really good at fast insult jokes, if that makes sense. He's good at that. And I would say no, not every one of them hits. No,
I practiced that a lot when I had this coworker who farted just incessantly, and his farts were disgusting, sound and smell. And I would practice I'd bring up my comedy chops by trying to describe his farts in new way. And it would always be something like that. I don't know. Like that sounds like you're trying to pull cottage cheese through a power washer into a dish or into a garbage disposal or something like that. And people liked it because they'd be like, Jesus Christ, you're right. That's probably what that would sound like. So I can appreciate that. I just haven't watched any Kill Tony really.
He's good on his feet with that. And then secondly, he brings on funny people with that. Like he brings on Kyle Dunnigan all the time, and Kyle Dunnigan shows up as Elon Musk for the whole show, or he shows up as Bill Maher for the whole show. And that stuff's really funny. Or he brings on that other guy who's really good at doing Dr. Phil, and he'll be Dr. Phil there for the whole show. So Kill Tony's got a lot of good stuff in it. And it's also got a lot of bad comedy in there, but that can be funny in the sense of just people bombing and then they rip on them. Roseanne Barr was just on it the other week, and it was really funny.
I do have somewhat of a sympathy for Kill Tony because as someone with a really nasally, annoying voice, like I feel for him.
Well, then part of the whole show, part of the whole show is everybody around is ripping on everybody, so they're constantly ripping back on him. And of course, he's a great sport about him getting ripped on. Like nothing.
That was Greg Giraldo. Like I did not care for celebrity roast for the most part, but I loved Greg Giraldo.
Greg was great. Yeah.
Well, his stand-up was great too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people were fast on their feet like that. Really impressed me. Like when they got to come up with like seemingly written jokes, or their names like the names that people we were looking at for Sean King, where they come up with Talcum X. Like he's so good at like coming up with that in the moment, stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I'd have to think for a night on something like that for somebody, unless it just you're lucky and it popped up or something. But he's doing it real because they're drawing names from a hat for that show. And of course, not every one of them hits. Anyway, these guys are actually funny guys, and they might be up and coming because they actually do dare to talk to other people on their shows. That's not actually Nick Mullen. He doesn't show up till the end. This is Nick Mullen there. Oh, it is him. I think he was playing.
They just disown so many people. Somebody in the Lobster group was asking, like, all right, more conservative leaning people, who are your favorite podcasters on the left that are more left leaning or whatever? Like, and I named a few. Like I named I like listening to Jimmy Dore sometimes. I like listening to Glenn Greenwald quite a bit. And one of the guys responded to me like, "You have to be kidding if you think Jimmy Dore is left leaning. Are you retarded?
Economically left. Like you guys aren't going to get a good podcast for people who are socially left.
Oh God,
you are only going to get a good podcast from economic left. Because if they're socially left, that is just it's the message. It's just death for all art and comedy. It's like dealing with somebody who's got to stick to strict Mormonism and be funny or something like that. You're just not going to get it. Anyway, that's what's all coming up with there. That's all I really got. Oh, the other thing from the beginning. This guy here talks about like how all these old shows were coded with gay messages from this gay director, although Boris
false from one of the other
Boris Karloff things and all that stuff. And they put stuff like this. This is a lady playing an old man, so it's queer back in the 1940s. But I don't, well, he was put there by a gay guy, but was that queer? I thought she was a better fit for a 100-year-old man or something. But.
Yeah, everything is queer. If there's one thing I've learned from Blair Ostler in my
your other degenerate book.
My other degenerate book I'm reading right now. I've got like 3. I'm in the middle of Bad Mormon, Queer Mormon Theology, and that stupid Minotaur book. I don't think I'm going to finish reading the Minotaur book. It's like legitimately like gross. I think I've read enough. What?
I would struggle with it.
I think I've heard enough that I'm like, yeah, okay, I get the gist. This is gross. I've talked about a lot of the degenerate parts or whatever, and it feels like watching porn almost, except for that you don't get a boner. Like you get the opposite of a boner. Like it just shrinks back up in you. Like maybe instead of like trans-invasive surgeries, and you just listen to this shit, it'll turn it'll turn itself into a canal. It's so awesome. But
gross out.
Yeah, but the Queer Mormon Theology thing is like the quote. I can't get it out of my mind. Mormonism is inherently queer. And the way that you do that is the Mott and Bailey of the word queer. Because she's
different. This means different. Change.
Yeah, it just means a little bit odd. And yeah, Mormonism is odd, especially when compared to other branches of Christianity. So if you told a Mormon, all I mean by saying Mormonism is inherently queer is that it's just a little bit different than other branches of Christianity, they'd be like, well, I mean, I guess. But what I then do that is I go straight down to the Bailey after that and bring all my real queerness into Mormonism.
Man. Anyway, I've got to go in 5 minutes because the dog is already getting restless, and I actually had a ton of other stuff. We got Cara Burrell pulling off more Candace stuff.
I'm gonna
Candace Owens and a Candace Owens impersonation. What's that?
I'm gonna do what you do to Flip, and I'm gonna keep you. I'm gonna fuck you into staying here. Not fuck. That was the wrong word. That was
I've got a lady promoting a movie coming out for asexuals. There's an asexual movie coming out.
Is it? I imagine it's not a romance,
I don't know. You might have to do
Happy
Degenerate
Ace Week for
movie.
everybody. I hope this video makes it to the masses of the entire ace community. So, because we have an asexual movie coming out with ace representation. So this is for asexuals, demisexuals, aromantics, anyone, gray sexuals, anyone on the spectrum. We got to spread the word. So help me out here, push all the buttons and get this video out here because it's a tiny independent movie called Dear Luke, Love Me. Dear Luke, Love Me.
Oh, shut
Dear,
up. Shut the fuck
Dear
up.
Luke, let me.
Oh, wait, did you stop it on purpose? Or
No, I switched to the wrong place.
Dear Luke, love me.
Where'd that go?
God, I hate this so much. I'm gonna start a sexuality movement based on dudes who really like blowjobs, and that's my sexuality. I'm a dude that really likes blowjobs. It's right there.
Happy Ace Week for everybody. I hope this video makes it
Dear
to the
Luke, I don't
masses of
think
the
anymore.
entire
We
ace
got-
community.
We got the
Love
title.
me. I'll put a.
No, you got it.
No, but I
We'll
can
get
show credit.
internationals. So
Dear Luke, love me.
I can't love. I am asexual. Well, no. Did they confirm that he is also aromantic? Because maybe he can love but not fuck. I'm a lover, not a fucker.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll have to watch it. It'll have to be Degenerate. Degenerate.
I'm gonna make an orosexual flag for dudes that really like blowjobs, and just be like, it's just so heartening to find representation in a movie for men that enjoy having their cocks sucked. It just isn't displayed quite enough, and this just means a lot to me.
Like, how can this be something you give a shit about? Like, how, if you're only, and I don't believe that you're actually asexual, even if I'm not talking about the scientific definition because that's retarded, but I just don't believe you. Like, maybe you have a low libido or something like that. That asexual, how do you give a fuck about this? How come there's nobody in, like, it's all it is I don't care, like, ostensibly I don't care for having sex. And the response to that is, what the fuck? Sex is awesome. What's wrong with you? And you respond, yeah, I just don't like it. It's like not liking chocolate ice cream. I get that. I don't really like chocolate ice cream much. And when I say that, people are like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Chocolate ice cream's awesome. I was like, I don't hate it, but it's just, I never purposely get it. And that's it. That's it. I'm not a chocolate ice cream. I just don't prefer it, and that's it.
Spanning over a decade, soulmates Penny and Luke struggle to maintain their queer platonic significant other relationship.
Holy
while
Christ.
dealing with societal pressure to find something normal.
How are those terms not mutually exclusive? Soulmates and queer platonic significant other relationship. Those how do those mesh at all?
How can that make a good movie even?
I'm gonna be president and write that into law. Soulmate is someone that you want to fuck. Like that's not the only requirement to be a soulmate. But if somebody is your soulmate, you have to want to fuck them. That's it. If you want to call someone your soulmate, you gotta kiss them, at least hold their hand, tell them you love them, fuck their brains out. Like, there's a lot of things you got to do to be a soulmate. And queer platonic significant other relationship describes all of the opposite things.
Yeah.
Well, Sinatra's out.
Well, we had there's a bunch of you just save them for some other time. AI musical of the Ocean Gate explosion, the AI musical of Harambe, AI musical of P. Diddy.
Did you watch the Ocean Gate
documentary
on Netflix?
Yeah, I did.
That was insane to watch.
Yeah.
Just when you hear the audio recordings of the fibers, like it was loud.
I don't know what they're
and the way that he comforted people was, that's the whole seasoning. It's just gonna settle. It's gonna have 1 million less fibers in 20 minutes than it had before, and it's just, it's getting stronger. It's getting used to it.
Hi, I'm Andy.
I've got another degenerate book for you. This one is Lord of the Rings.
You're Joseph
Queer.
White. I am the author of Hell Followed With Us, and now also You Weren't Meant to Be Human, my adult horror debut about an autistic trans man who finds out that he's pregnant and is forced to carry it to term by an evil bug cult. It has been called.
She even knows
things.
her book is retarded. Like she knows her book is retarded when she's like, by an evil bug cult. That's the way I would say it. Like, this is so fucking stupid and weird. Here it is. Like, read my stupid and fucking weird shit.
No. Oh, plenty of degenerate
Ooh,
stuff to watch.
Starbase said adieu. Does he speak Nephite?
I guess so. Sounds like.
Oh.
All right, I should get going. So we should end on a positive
They have
note.
a house. They're CEO. They're the most successful person I've ever met.
Oh my god. And what did you say her name was again? Guys, I've done it again. You know, in this patriarchal society we live in, people tend to assume that when you're talking about someone successful, you're talking about a man. Me? No. I go a step further. I don't just say, who are they? I say, who is she? I just assume it's a woman. If you like this video, try it out for yourself and just let me know how it goes.
Oh my god, this isn't a joke, is it?
I think it's a joke.
Oh, I hope it's a joke. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's a joke.
No. Oh man, I have Divas put out. Man, Divas is.
You won't show me Divas, bitch.
This is just so wanky because this guy. I've seen this video before from this guy.
Oh man,
where-
Flip is gonna watch this back, and it's gonna be so cathartic for him.
I should show it because this guy's like saying nice things to ex-Mormons, and Divas is just pulling Reddit atheist on him. Divas is like ultimate Reddit atheist now.
This is Scooby.
I hear you. What is wanted?
Just going for a walk, and I've been thinking a lot.
Oh, crisis of faith? It happens to the best of us, Scoob. Wait, I might be putting the cart before the horse here. This guy looks like a Kool-Aid drinker. Pro tip, always make sure it's not poisoned before you knock back a cold one.
I've been nervous to make this kind of a video because I have no idea how the internet's going to react to it.
Usually with knives out.
I had a message for anyone who has left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Ah, I'm all ears, my friend. Let me guess. It's going to sound like a soft-focus PR campaign wrapped in faux vulnerability. Will we hear some shallow platitudes or honest accountability? I can't wait to find out.
Accountability.
I just wanted to say thank you for all of the service that you gave while you were here.
Ah, thanks for the free labor to the giant Mormon empire. Am I supposed to say you're welcome? Like you're thanking me for building the church's corporate empire, including building luxury malls?
It's so Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's trying to be nice to you, you dipshit.
It just goes on and on.
Millions or hundreds of millions of acres of ranch land? Cool, bro. How generous of you.
Thank you for the days and weeks that you were gone at girls camp and scout camp.
All righty. I'm a former LDS Cub Scout, Boy Scout, two-time LDS Scout leader here with...
Stop it, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Holy
fuck. Like the whole entire thing is just...
Holy fuck.
I don't want to get copyright struck, so I better stop it right there on that one.
Dude, isn't this what you want Mormons to do? Like, how many times, Divas, have you specifically bitched about how Mormons try to strawman ex-Mormons by saying that the only reason they left is that they wanted to sin, they never had a testimony, or they were lazy learners? Like, how many times have you bitched about that? We've all bitched about it. Like, a lot of people have. They'll be like, I wasn't lazy, or I had a testimony, all that shit. I mostly just accept it. Like when a Mormon's like, you never had a testimony, it's like, probably not. I don't know. But there's a lot of people that did, who left, and you criticize them for that. And this is the parenting thing. I've talked about it a million times. The do not punish the behavior that you want to see. If your kid is an asshole and he continues to be an asshole, he throws a fit because you get him, like, you don't cut his strawberries the right way. And finally, after like
30,000 times of doing it the wrong way. You get it just right. You get them to stop throwing a fit about something really stupid. If your response is, it's about time. That's what you want to do. That is, you want to be like, oh my God, you asshole, you could have done this the whole time. But you can't do that, because if you do that, he's just going to be like, oh, I didn't get rewarded for doing the right thing, so I'm just going to keep doing the right. Like he got mad at me for doing the wrong thing, and then he got mad at me for doing the right thing. There's no point in me trying to figure out what the right thing is. And so, congratulations, this guy is proof positive that message from ex-Mormons is getting through, and some Mormons are like, we need to be less hard on these guys. They don't consider themselves our brothers right now, but they did at one time. Thanks for all you did while you were our brothers. You're always welcome back, shit like that. And then you're like, hey, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to complain about that for some reason. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's so, I mean, every single one of his videos, just like I said last week after Russell Nelson died and all that stuff, I was like, Divas, you're doing the thing. You're making a bad name. You're making an annoying bad name for ex-Mormons.
Haha, you did the correct thing. I'm going to shame you for it.
Knock it off. Anyway, I think I'll save Kara being Candace for next week. We should talk more Candace anyway, because Candace is back on. But Kara's gone full Candace too. She's got it all figured out.
What's
the deep
stuff
stuff
her
that's coming
deal?
after us.
I haven't watched any of it. I know she had that thing saying that Tyler Robinson is a patsy. What's her?
She hasn't gone in more detail. She hasn't done that yet, but she just said, you know, that who's coming after you. I can speak for all, left, right, and every sort of, the people coming after you are the secret societies of Christ believers who are coming after you. Those are, they've got a boner for you and they're coming for you. And
well, I know, like, Candace is pointing to a couple things where I'm talking about the things she didn't see in a dream, but she's.
Oh, you're asking Candace or
yeah, I'm talking Candace right now. I know you were talking Kara, but
okay.
Like, she's one of the things she points to is that, like, Charlie Kirk's best friend, he acted weird. I'm just saying, he acted weird. He got up and he took a phone call. Who takes a phone call right after your best friend is shot in the neck? I'm like, look, idiot. If he was involved in this, don't you think he would overact instead of underact? Have you ever seen somebody who's like, there's footage of plenty of people who've been caught in the act of conspiring to do something terrible. There's this great one on a lot of true crime podcasts, this woman, I think in California, who tried to hire a hitman to kill her husband. The hitman was an undercover cop. They staged the crime scene that he had been murdered, and the woman gets in there and she is like overbearingly hysterical, like to the point where you're like, okay, I know your husband just died, but this is a little like, this is weird that like you're acting this, but you're not acting like a person right now. It's never, she's like, oh, he died, okay, well, I'm fine with that. When do I get his life insurance money? Like, they don't underact, they overact.
Yeah. It's goofy. I can't go into it. I mean, so much of the stuff just the past 2 days is such nothing, and even talking about the stuff she made something is nothing. And I don't know, but Kara's pushing it on her own ways. The deep Illuminati are coming for all of us, and I don't know, I have to save for next time. Risa wanted us to talk about Matt Fradd and his crack and joining the Daily Wire and that stuff. I just saw him link that in. I forgot to talk about that, but that's all stuff that can wait 1 week. I gotta walk a doggy. He's getting restless, so
I'm gonna suck you in for 2 more things.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't have anything. I was just being a dick.
Sorry.
I mean, I probably gave you too much shit for that.
Troy said camp stuff at Boy Scout Camp Emerald Bay, Catalina in 1985 was a great summer. Well, Divas made sure to remind him that there's probably hundreds and thousands of kid rapes from Boy Scouts, and that guy should apologize for it. That dude on TikTok.
Okay, I hated Boy Scouts. I hated the boring parts. I fucking loved the camp outs. Those were awesome. And we had some rich people in our ward too. We had for like 4 years in a row these super rich people, not super, but like pretty, like way upper middle class, who had a bunch of snowmobiles, and and a cabin in Island Park, and we would go stay in the cabin for like a full week, and they would let us use their snowmobiles. I don't know what they were fucking thinking. We were like 14 years old. They just let us ride their snowmobiles, and snowmobiles are notoriously expensive and easy to fuck up. So I was like, hey, thanks for doing it. And I'm sitting there like, I'm looking at the speedometers. I got to hit over 100. And I did. I was so proud of myself. I'm bouncing around like a rag doll on every tiny little bump. But this guy just let me use a snowmobile and hit 100 miles an hour on it. What the fuck was he thinking? He's awesome.
Yeah, that's sweet. I liked most of the scouts and that sort of stuff. And like we were talking in the beginning, I don't know what you're here for yet, because the Midnight Mormons were asking if people are coming back. We got to get rid of the cultural stuff and just do Christ stuff. It's like, no, you guys got to go back. If you want to win them back, go back straight hard culture.
The culture
and just do it better.
Well, that was one of the things I remember. One of the first things like that kind of cracked my ex-Mormon shelf was listening to people. Like one of the biggest Mormon defenses, oh no, it's not that you don't like the church, it's that you don't like the culture. And I bought it for like a week, and then I was like, I kind of actually like the culture. That's the thing I like about it. It's that I think the church is incorrect. Like I think a lot of what it says is just factually untrue. But I love the culture.
The Ward Radio guys talked about that. They said, well, there's just a lot of those guys that'll still just be there. I'm like, well, those guys would maybe participate more if you focused like a bunch harder on the cultural stuff. Or
yeah, I mean, I probably
not even like focus or make it like just bring it back. I bet you would. I bet you if your whole neighborhood started doing like really, really good what were those called? Road shows again, or baseball and stuff like that, and start inviting your kids. I bet you'd be in it sooner or later.
I probably come play basketball with him or something. And there was a chili cook-off today that I'm on a 12-hour shift right now, so it ended before I got home. But I was like, yeah, if I had gotten home, I would have gone to that for a little bit, taking my kids and hung out. But
I bet you your kids could get into plays and stuff like that if they're doing plays.
Yeah, maybe.
So, but they're not gonna do it again. Just Christ, back to just Christ stuff. Anyway, well, I gotta run.
All right.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. We gotta remember to talk about that stuff next week. But all right.
Adieu.
Adieu.
My fellow Nephites.